So much is different in 2020, but it makes these familiar traditions even more precious. The Tigers touch Howard's Rock, brought from Death Valley, California, and charge down into Tiger Stadium. There are many new faces in those orange jerseys tonight, but even though the names have changed, the goals and the expectations here have certainly not.
The mountaintop is always the goal. Getting there and staying there. Last year, Clemson was pushed from its lofty perch, but it's determined to return to the very top.
It's not anything new for us. We're used to having the spotlight and playing in big games.
While Miami, long missing from the national championship mix, is making moves to get back in it.
Playing #1 team in the country, so just going there and just getting the win, it'll be a big deal.
The Eric King and the Hurricanes are bringing it on offense.
King dashes into the end zone. He's king of the hill.
While Trevor Lawrence and the Tigers are still on top of the conference. And right now, the country.
Touchdown. Another dive by Lawrence.
The Miami Hurricanes to prove they're back. The Clemson Tigers to prove they're still the best. On Saturday Night Football.
A lot of streaks at stake tonight. You're watching a presentation of the ACC on ESPN. Clemson's won 24 in a row against conference opposition. They have won 35 consecutive regular season games, closing in on Oklahoma's all-time record. They've won 46 in a row on Saturdays, for whatever that's worth. Allison Williams joins us on the sideline. Dry for now, Allison, but I know you've seen that forecast.
It is, thankfully, for now, but it's not going to last, Chris. You know, that heavy rain expected throughout the game. Now, Miami said the plan is to throw it if it's wet and throw it if it's dry, but they did do a lot of wet ball drills this week, really emphasized ball security. Coach Manny Diaz added, though, the rain is the remnants of a hurricane. This is our natural habitat. And you know Dabo Sweeney is all in on the deluge. She said, hey, everybody loves a good mutter.
The DJ's cranking. We got a band in the end zone. 19,000 here. It's
Feels
pretty
good.
energized.
Feels good. Felt great last week in Athens. Feels good tonight at Clemson.
We'll see Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and that Clemson offense first. Miami to kick it away. One of the great newcomers on this team. He's a difference maker. Jose Borregales, the grad transfer from FIU, usually doesn't allow many returns. It's a low line drive and bobbled, and leaving it there is Dixon. So here comes Trevor Lawrence. I mentioned Tuesday was his 21st birthday. He's become a powerful runner as well as a great passer. Of course, that championship game a couple of years ago, then fell short against LSU, and that's been driving him. The only loss in his career.
Think about that. 3 years, only lost a national championship. First 2 years as a starter, won the national championship, lost the second year against LSU. As you said, that has driven him and his teammates. And I'm anxious to see these 4 new offensive linemen. The left tackle, Jackson Carman, the only returning starter against a very talented Miami front.
And the first play is a play action. They dump it in the flat to Amari Rogers, who slips and falls down at the 25, so no gain. Here's our Chick-fil-A impact players when the Tigers have the football.
It's not just about what Trevor Lawrence can do. He's got to have a lot of help. It's Miami's defense, entire defensive line. Phillips and Roche on the outside. Ford and Silvera, especially one. That defensive line has got to dominate if Miami's going to compete and do well tonight against Lawrence and Etienne.
10 sacks, 6 takeaways for Miami in the last couple games. On 2nd and 10, quick throw to the perimeter. And it's Rogers turning the corner, knocked out near the marker. They'll spot him short, and it'll be 3rd down and about 3.5.
Yeah, that's just, you see this a lot in college football. Trevor Lawrence just kind of looking out and seeing his most gifted receiver, most experienced receiver, Amari Rogers, with a soft cushion. And instead of trying to run it, he just tries to get it out there and picks up a block from Frank Ladson. And Miami gets Lawrence to 3rd down. This is what they wanted to do. And then try to turn their defensive ends loose and try to pressure him.
Clemson converting at 55% through the first 3 games. Etienne motions back in. Lawrence from the pocket delivers a high throw, and it's 3 for 3. And Rodgers has a first down catch across the 40.
Well, it's great to see Amari Rodgers back. You know, he's back last year. He returned from an ACL injury and surgery after 6 months. Last year, with T. Higgins here, Justin Ross, he was out there, but he just wasn't 100%. He trusts that knee now. He's in better shape, more explosive, and obviously Trevor Lawrence likes to look him up.
Yeah, it was no fun playing in the brace for him, was it?
Yeah.
Now they throw in the slot, and wearing the old Hunter Renfrow number is Brandon Spector, the freshman from Georgia. It's a big deal when you wear 13 here.
It sure is. And right away, Trevor Lawrence and Tony Elliott, the play callers, sending a message to Miami. If you're going to leave these receivers with a cushion, we're going to take those easy yards. Just quick throws, recognizing that soft coverage.
And now they dump it to Etienne. He's been explosive as a receiver this year, even stronger than he was last year, and he spins for about 7 before Bubba Bolden stops him.
Just one thing to keep in mind, Miami has wanted an opportunity like this, and you walk in on the road, and you look good, and everybody's been talking about your quarterback, and Miami's kind of been the toast of the town in college football. Then you knock on the door to the champ. And things are happening fast. Miami needs to just settle into this game. But before you look up, it could be 7-0. They need to make plays.
There's the first run of the night, and Etienne is met very quickly. Flying up was Keontre Smith. Got him behind the line.
Yeah, they loaded the line of scrimmage that time, and they'll rotate linebackers. That time you mentioned it. Smith is a young sophomore, huge upside, tremendous speed, and read that very, very quickly. You cannot give Travis Etienne just a little bit of room, and he'll make you pay for it with his quickness.
5 receivers, 3 to the left. And Etienne comes in motion. They fake it to him. Lawrence with the bubble screen. And that's Cornell Powell, kind of the veteran, sure-handed, excellent blocker in this receiving corps.
They continue to get those quick throws out there, and with a receiver. That time they got a couple linemen out in front as well. Miami willing to maybe give those yards up and just trying to keep the big play in front of them, trying to keep the ball in front and doing a good job of rallying. And again, they've got Lawrence to third down. See if they bring pressure or just bring their front 4.
They've been able to get home with 4. Tigers need 6. It is a 4-man rush. Lawrence flushed, makes a man miss. Big collision, and he is stopped by Bradley Jennings Jr. about 3 yards short of the marker.
Boy, great recognition by the linebackers. Roche got upfield on Jackson Carman, and then you saw Zach McLeod and Bradley Jennings. Watch the 2 linebackers respect for the athletic ability of 16. Missed here, and then boom, 44 comes in. Both of them leveraging and respectful of what Lawrence can do with his legs on third down, and took that away.
Offense on the field. They need 4 for this first down. Haven't converted in their first true 4th down tries this year.
Remember the cushion. Now look at the coverage. A lot tighter. They're taken away on 4th and short.
Trying to get the Canes to jump offside. Lawrence zips it out. Diving interception. There's a flag down. Now they rule incomplete. Could not come up with it. That was Roche, the defensive end, who dropped off into coverage and tried to make an athletic pick.
Offside.
Check the flag.
Defense number 2.
And the Canes,
5-yard penalty.
Roche,
Chris,
they give him a first down.
I think Roche may have lined up offsides. I didn't see any movement at all. I don't know if his upper body is leaning across the line. I mean, he's up there at the top. He's actually going backwards. So I don't think he jumped that. You can see his foot across the black line. I think he lined up offsides, because as soon as the ball was snapped, the official dropped the flag. Boy, costly mistake. They get him off the field there on 4th down.
Extremely costly. And now it's an option pitch. Etienne barrels forward, picks up 8. It's going to be very tough for Miami's defense to recover from that.
Yeah, that's definitely one where you're going to see how this game plays out, but you remember that play depending on how this drive ends up. The last thing you want to do is give Lawrence and Etienne more opportunities. You get them off the field, man, that's a celebration, and you get De'Aaron King out there instead getting close to the red zone.
Very nearly a pick by Roche. Instead, that foot across the line costs him. On 2nd and 2, Lawrence rolls, throws it back. There's a flag down to the backfield. Galloway rumbling free and all the way to the end zone. Canes may have been offside again. That's going to count.
Yeah, they lined up again offsides. Offensive lineman, it's one of those plays where Clemson's offensive lineman, Trevor Lawrence, rolls right. They just stay there.
Defense number 1. The penalty will be declined.
Touchdown.
The time it was Silvera crowding the line of scrimmage. See him right in the middle, right there. Actually gets a little jump. Look at the lineman. Look at the Clemson lineman. Then they throw it. Now look at the convoy.
It's an orange wall out
Look
there.
at nice. Look at 79 Jackson Carman punishing people, and pretty easy. But again, that fourth down play by Miami.
You just had a sense that this Canes defense was going to have a hard time overcoming that mental error. Clemson, 75 yards in 10 plays, 5-10. It's Galloway with his first touchdown reception of the season. 7-zip. Clemson scores first. Bradley Jennings could have been thrown out of the game for targeting the helmet-to-helmet on Trevor Lawrence. Here was the reaction of the quarterback on the sidelines.
He says, my head. Man, ouch.
Officials missed that. Did the replay booth.
One thing about Trevor Lawrence, there is a willingness to get physical. He's not trying to protect himself.
Actually enjoys it, doesn't he?
He loves it.
Otter's kickoff will land in the end zone. Well, the last two meetings have been really, really lopsided. This was an absolute nightmare. One of the low points in the history of Miami offense.
See that same play? It's a staple. It's been around, but you're right. This is a rough.
Yeah, they gave up a two-man rush sack. Al Golden fired after the game. It was the low point all time for Miami in about 95 years of football. Could have been worse than 58-0. Could have been a lot worse, actually.
We showed that only because of the first play, not to set the tone for this game in any way at all.
Let's hope not. Shot of Skalski there. It's a Miami offense that's had a bye week to get a healthy. That includes Cam Harris, tailback, who's been off to a brilliant start in his first three games. King is swarmed and dropped by Balin Spector, the active linebacker.
They know one thing. They want to load up and take the ability of the quarterback to run the football away. He kind of gave him a look that he was coming down on Harris, the back on a zone read look, and then late comes and takes the quarterback. That is a tough read on a zone read on the first play for D'Eriq King.
Quickly behind the sticks on 2nd and 15. Tigers bring some pressure again. It's picked up, and the ball comes out to Brevin Jordan, the top pass-catching weapon on this offense.
And this is going to be fun to watch this side of the ball, where you have Rhett Lashley and D'Eriq King and a kind of an aggressive mentality on the offense against Brent Venables with the get-back coach, and an aggressive mindset with the Clemson defense. I mean, two aggressive schemes colliding.
He got 8 and sets up 3rd and 7 against Venables' defense. $19,000 making some noise. Clemson showing a 3-man rush and a flag. Miami, another flinch pre-snap, and it's going to back him up.
And the left guard there moved. 53. This crowd makes a lot of noise here in Death Valley.
We saw it last week in Athens when Auburn struggled. Obviously about 1/5 of the normal crowd, but it was enough to disrupt the O-line.
False start. Left guard. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Clark is a second-year starter, but another mental mistake in the trenches for the Hurricanes.
Keep in mind, it's 3rd down. Here comes, are they going to blitz? This time they're rushing 3, but there's a lot of communication, a lot of potential different ways that Venables likes to attack. See them crowding the line, affecting your communication.
Well, they're showing blitz, and they bring it. King from the pocket delivers a strike, and it's a 1st down. He found Jordan again.
Watch D'Eriq King take the hit. The blitz is coming. He sits in there, knows it, and somehow gets that throw off accurately. Ball placement exceptional, along with taking the hit on 3rd down. Now they get their tempo going.
Jordan, the junior from Vegas, who goes over 1,000 career yards. It's a backwards pass. He can throw it. Lofted downfield. Tight end to tight end. If you look for Mallory, but it's broken up. A little wobbly from the first tight end to the second there.
They went after Landon Sanders, a very talented player. There he is, 36.
Pass interference. Defense, number 36. 15-yard penalty.
Sanders reacted to Brevin Jordan getting the football and didn't realize it was a lateral, so he starts to move. He's out of position. The ball went way up in the air. It gave him a chance to catch up, but obviously he ends up getting to Mallory too much. And Miami, a couple 1st downs, cross midfield.
Sanders kind of a mixed bag. Got beaten early against Virginia, then made some big plays late. Still learning the ropes of that strong safety position. Quickly thrown out there. It was a miscommunication Jeremiah Payton was trying to work back toward the ball.
This is a new defense. I mean, it's still Brent Venables, but you got a lot of new faces that are out there that they're trying to settle in, and they're going to still run the same scheme, still be aggressive, but you're not looking out there and seeing those familiar faces we've seen.
Pressure again. It's a screen, but the timing was disrupted off the hands of Payton, and it's third down. How about that championship game, LSU? Look at all the orange lines through the guys.
This is going back even a couple years ago with Farrell and Wilkins and Lawrence, Mullen, Bryant. That was 2 years ago. And then last year, all these guys are in the NFL. So you've got basically 3 starters back from last year.
3rd and 10. Pressure again. King is going to be sacked. All-out aggression from Venables' defense. Spector made 2 huge plays in the series.
Boy, not only do they come after you, they create one-on-one opportunities because of the pressure. And here's a very talented true freshman, Miles Murphy, who ends up getting home. He's lined up against John Campbell. When you bring pressure, even if the backers don't get there, they occupy linemen and give your defensive ends a chance to go one-on-one. And that time, the true freshman gives you an idea of one of those new faces and what they can do.
Lou Headley, the Aussie, on the punt for Miami. Rodgers is back deep. None of Headley's punts have been returned this season, including that one. So Clemson back to work, up 7 from their own 11-yard line, midway first.
Kevin Agani here, our Fansville studio update brought to you by Dr. Pepper. To Oxford, Ole Miss already up 7-0 over Alabama. Mac Jones leading a 10-play, 85-yard drive. Devontae Smith with the touchdown. We're tied at 7 apiece over on ESPN.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
And Clemson back to work from the 11-yard line. Hoping for another Gatorade bath in the Hurricanes' home city. Miami homing the championship game this season. And fake pass. Etienne barrels forward for about 6 yards.
How many quick passes did we see on that opening drive where he just flipped it real quick to a receiver that had soft?
About 6 before the touchdown.
So
right?
what that does, you see that little quick pump fake. Now those players in conflict, they're holding. Now they're worried about those quick throws. Now you can open up the running lanes and free up that box area for Travis Etienne. So it's a kind of a cat and mouse game with Lawrence in the secondary.
False start. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Don't often see Etienne guilty of a false start. A little smile there.
He was just kind of up on his toes, leaning forward, and the referee standing right next to him caught him.
How impressive is his improvement been? Went down to Jennings, Louisiana, and he's been mentoring his younger brother, Trevor. They're both trained real hard. He is even stronger, even better balance than he had last year.
Yeah, the physicality and the balance is what's changed from early in his career and catching the ball out of the backfield.
Right here, goes up, makes a hands catch. He works hard with the receivers in that jugs machine. And he has shown NFL scouts all they need to see.
Yeah, it puts it tough because he's a tough matchup. You put a linebacker on him, man-to-man, he's going to win. And I think that was why he wanted to come back, become a complete back for the next level. Again, the Canes get this offense to 3rd down.
You need 9. Let's see if they stay on their side of the line of scrimmage. That's a good start. One toe over the line. Clemson's first possession made all the difference. O'Shea, it would have been a 4th down stop.
And Mari Rodgers is usually who he looks for in these situations.
Pump fake, dumped off. Etienne has a blocker, makes a move, lowers the shoulder, and moves the sticks. What a weapon he has been on 3rd down as a receiver this year.
Boy, the quick execution. Watch this offensive line try to get out in front. McFadden, 71, trying to get down there. Even though if he doesn't block anybody, he's just kind of an obstacle, getting in the way of the safeties in the secondary before they can slow him down. But he is so quick out of that backfield on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, you got a quarterback who can run. You got a running back who's almost impossible to stop as a receiver. Headaches for defense. Lynn J. Dixon, spelling ETN, and the underrated backup tailback gets around the corner and out near the 35. Allison?
Guys, when the Canes defense came off the field, that's what they were emphasizing. We have to get off the field on third down. Way too many third downs converted on that first drive. But it was interesting to watch because when they came off the field, there wasn't a single coach that came over for a few minutes. It was just the players coaching each other. In fact, Amari Carter got the entire defense together. He's like, guys, we got to get to the quarterback, but we're good. We just got to calm down out there.
You got a wrinkle here. DJ Uingalale in a quarterback. It's a mouthful. He's talented. Lawrence is out.
He's up here.
Lawrence is out to the left. It's a by Stack. High snap. And the freshman collects it and lowers the shoulder. That's a 250-pound true freshman quarterback. It's a first down.
That is a big man on a quarterback counter following his lead blockers. The guard there, the tight end has nobody to block. And I'm surprised Miami not anticipating QB run when the true freshman at 250 pounds comes in. Now he can sling it too. Still have Trevor Lawrence in the slot now up at the top.
Uingalale. You ready for that, Kirk? You're going to hear that a lot in the future years.
There's Trevor.
This is
got to work on his
wrinkle.
stance a little bit.
Tony Elliott going deep early. The high snap off his hands, collects it, heaves it downfield, and it's incomplete. They almost made a spectacular play out of a disaster. Frank Ladson, the sophomore from Miami, couldn't quite come up with it.
Boy, second snap from Stewart where he's gone high. Fortunate to be able to show you the athletic ability, gathers, and on the run, throws it about 45, 50 yards. Great adjustment by Ladson, and Ivy's out there on an island and holds up that time in coverage.
Lawrence back at quarterback now. This is getting interesting early here. Lynn J. Dixon is the back. And it's a second down and 10 handoff. Not much there as the Canes plug the middle there. Jonathan Ford on the stop along with Jennings.
Boy, this really, other than the wrinkles there, it's been a really balanced attack for Clemson. A lot of different formations, a lot for the Miami defense's eyes to have to deal with. But once again, they get Lawrence to third down.
It's one of those moments early in the game. Only the first quarter, but given what the Canes defense has been unable to do so far, there's some urgency to get off the field here on 3rd and 9. Lawrence steps up, flushed, flag comes down. He's going to make the first down with his legs, slides down, takes a big hit, and there's a flag at the end of the play as well as one in the offensive backfield.
Yeah,
they hit him.
There's a hold there by Jackson Carman, the left tackle, and then a late hit. Possibly a targeting call on a defenseless player in Trevor Lawrence when he went down the slide. And I think, again, you and I have called some Canes games. Amari Carter, 5 involved in that.
One by each team. Holding offense number 79. That penalty will be accepted 10 yards from the previous spot. After the play, personal foul, late hit, defense number 5. That penalty will be enforced 15 yards from the succeeding spot, and it's a first down.
Well, that's a win for Clemson because had they not hit him on the slide, it was going to be 3rd and forever. Here's the hold.
Left tackle grabs Roche, who's able to get around him, obviously grabs him around the neck, and then here, once that quarterback slides, you cannot make contact. And, you know, one of the things about Amari Carter is he is a very talented player, an aggressive player, and sometimes gets himself in some tough spots because of his physicality.
Yeah, he didn't use his helmet, but he hit Lawrence in the helmet as he was defenseless and sliding.
So a 4th down miscue when they had a chance to get Lawrence off the field on the offside, so they just lined up offsides. And now another chance to get him off the field.
They're going to review this for targeting. I think we'll bring in Bill LeMonnier after we come back here, but we'll see if it costs Carter the rest of this game when we come back. Review rules it is targeting on Carter. He's out of the game. Gervin Hall Jr. having to sit out the first half because of a targeting in the last game against FSU. It's been a persistent problem for Carter.
It has twice last year, thrown out of a game for targeting. I don't think that was malicious at all. I just think once the quarterback went down, he's put in a defenseless position and he hit him in the head. Now you see a true freshman forced to play with Hall out and Carter out. Brian Balaam, talented, but a true freshman staring in the eyes of Trevor Lawrence.
Ball in Miami territory now. Lawrence takes a downfield shot, and it's incomplete. It was Etienne who was being trapped down there. Well defended by Frierson. Tough matchup for a backer.
Yeah, but a really good job. I mean, he's played corner in his background, but he's out there. You got to live on an island. You know, Blake Carter told us how these guys going to do when they're one-on-one against these gifted receivers and running backs. I mean, it's Travis Etienne, 50 yards downfield, and the backer hanging in there. Ball underthrown slightly, but good coverage that time by Frierson.
Speaking of hanging in there, that's what Miami's defense is going to have to do. Down a couple safeties. Lawrence pump fakes a couple times and finally gets it out in space to Rodgers, and Rodgers scoots quickly for a first down.
That's a play that's not going to show up on SportsCenter tonight, but that's a play that I think is really unique when a quarterback can get pressure like that, get away from it, enough athletic ability, and then the awareness to find his open receiver, get him the ball, and then let him get some yards after the catch for a first down. So it goes from a disastrous play to maybe throwing it away to finding a first down.
Lawrence is 9 for 9 as a passer. Shades of what Kelly Bryant did to the Hurricanes in the ACC championship game, the most recent meeting. He was perfect in the first quarter as the Clemson offense clicked just like this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the difference is you're on the road here and dealing with Trevor Lawrence and an offense right now that's cranking up the tempo, constantly rotating, keeping their skill fresh, rotating different bodies in there. I love how they mix up their tempo. It's not just fast. It's a combination of fast and then that kind of fake fast to see what they're in and then get the right play called.
Pump fake again. That's a low throw. Spector went down to make the catch. It'll set up third and short now. Kind of a bigger version of Renfro. He's 6'1", almost 200 pounds.
Yeah, he is explosive too. He can get downfield and make plays.
Well, they've been converting third and long all night. They just need a yard here. Dixon is the back. He's got the football. He's got the first down. And he bangs down into the red zone. Clemson threatening again.
And Trevor Lawrence hands that ball off and does a really good job of carrying out his fakes in this run game. And his white jerseys, their eyes are on 16. So it opens up again, gives these backs even a better opportunity because of the respect that this defense has for Trevor Lawrence in the run game.
Canes are rotating linemen. Phillips and Roche out of there on first down. They're trying to stay fresh. Incomplete pass. Try to get it over there to Powell. He didn't hold it long enough to be complete.
And we keep talking about these quick passes. DJ Ivey, outstanding. Just a great job of getting off, fighting through Frank Ladson, and then knocking that ball loose. Did he have possession of the ball? The Miami sideline, the coaches thought that he may have, but the ball looked like it was never really held on there. It's juggling, but a great play that time by 8, fighting through and then getting to the ball to knock it loose.
Final minute of the first quarter, and Etienne bang for a loss there. Nice play there by Harvey.
Sure is. We're usually used to saying Phillips. You know, you're used to seeing 15 out there, but instead it's 12, who's a young player that spots the freshman, spots Phillips.
Leader of the Canes defense, Zach McLeod. Brown briefly and is going down again. A problem with his left leg. It looks like he's holding the calf. You could think of all the guys they could ill afford to lose at this point with Carter already thrown out, and that would be the guy who would not want to lose. And Bubba Bolden, the safety there, looks like he's bleeding, being mopped up. It's been a physical first quarter. Clemson's run 24 plays, brilliant balance, 135 yards, and you do face a third and long here, 14. The offense is delivering the shots right now, not the defense. Those are two of the best players in that unit right there being blended to.
They are. And especially with Bolden, with Paul out to the second half as a safety and Amari Carter out of the game for the rest of the way. Bolden they have 3 NFL quality safeties, and 2 right now are not available.
Bolden, one of the highest rated players at his position. If you follow the Pro Football Focus ratings, a couple of forced fumbles, interceptions, a sack, bats passes down, does it all.
Yeah, I think he looks okay. We'll see how Zach McLeod, how he feels.
Flexing that left leg. And he will slowly trot off.
And by the way, once again, it's 3rd down. Just thought I'd mention it. 3rd and long.
Well, they need a challenge, Kirk. They need 14 here.
3rd and long. Do you blitz him? Do you rush your 4? Do you hope that your 4 can get in?
What a job by Tony Elliott calling plays so far for this Clemson offense. They have had the Canes off balance, out of sorts. Tony second from the left with the shield on there. He and Jeff Scott share play calling responsibilities. Scott will take a head coaching job at USF.
With the defensive ends, if they're going to get pressure, Phillips here, they got to get pressure from the outside.
Rogers motioning across. That's just eye candy as they get the ball to Etienne in the flat. He's got blockers. He's got a crease. Travis Etienne knocked out inside the 5. Balaam saved the touchdown, but how do you stop this guy on 3rd down?
Well, he's able to get to the outside. The backers are trying to get out there. Look at 79 hustling to try to get in the way. It does just enough to slow down Jennings from getting there. And again, once you get him outside, he's got the speed. He's going to pick up that 1st down, even though it's 3rd and 14.
4 of 5 from 3rd down. They've been long distance conversions. And the clock will run down. Tigers will pick up there when you begin the 2nd quarter. Hard to imagine a rougher start for the 7th-ranked Hurricanes with designs of toppling the ACC Kings. Clemson threatening at the end of 1. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
The Super Big
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Capital One. Ready for quarter number 2. Ball at the 2. 1st and goal for Clemson. Etienne stopped initially, bounces outside and scores standing up. And the Tigers stretch the lead in the first play of the 2nd quarter. And that's the 39th game in his career that Travis Etienne has scored a touchdown.
I mean, that play was bottled up, right?
It was, until it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't give up on the play. The Miami defense collapsed, and nobody was able to wrap him up. His legs were alive, and he recognized that they had collapsed on the edge, and he used that speed to get to the corner.
A marathon march for Clemson. 89 yards. They score in the 16th play, Kirk.
Yeah, you'll see. Watch the inside of this defense. I mean, they do a good job. Silvera right there. Now you start to see, hey, we've got him. They start collapsing down, but nobody has him. Keeps the play alive, bounces back, and once you lose the edge, you lose the contain against the back leg. Travis Etienne, he's gone.
Where was the containment, as Frank Royals used to say to Keith Jackson?
That's right.
It wasn't there.
No, it was not.
Mental mistakes for Miami early, costly in that first Clemson touchdown drive. Targeting penalty on Carter, a couple key guys injured, and it could not have been a rougher start for Manny Diaz and his defense on the road against number 1.
Yeah, and in Miami, the whole thing Manny Diaz talked about was the importance of getting his team to believe that they can play with a perennial power like Clemson, especially on the road, and starting fast and weathering the storm and realizing, hey, that's one thing to say it. It's another thing to do it against a Clemson team that's been dominant this year, outscoring their opponent 52-0 in the first quarter coming into this game.
The AT&T 5G Skycam. You can check out the AT&T 5G Skycast streaming live at ESPN3 and ESPN app. Well, a couple of teams that are off bitter losses today will collide in the swamp. We'll see if Coach O can get that defense fixed. The Gators fumbling late and losing at Kyle Field. So a little extra urgency. We're going to see two teams in a bad mood be there in the afternoon next Saturday. Canes are down 2 touchdowns. They've run 6 plays. And inside,
fumble
bottled up.
Yeah, ball's on the ground.
Fell on it.
You mentioned 6 plays. I mean, it seems like we've been playing here for a while. That's their 7th play, and they have 9 yards. Clemson 26 plays and 159 yards.
2 true freshman tailbacks in the game as King drops back. And he'll be sacked for a 3rd time. They gave up 3 sacks in 3 games. It's 3 in barely a quarter tonight. Justin Maskell.
A real good job downfield. This offense has been clicking and hitting on all cylinders coming into tonight. But look at the coverage downfield. Takes it away. Mike Jones at the top. Maskell ends up getting there. And how about the push in the middle? Nowhere for the fleet-footed King to step up because of Tyler Davis. Big 13 in the middle, closing and pushing that pocket.
3rd and 14. Tigers show pressure, but then bail. But it doesn't matter because you got another flinch up front. You said how improved this offensive line was.
Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Clark again. Remember, they gave up 51 sacks a year ago. Vastly improved. A lot of that's to do with King's play, but it's been a nightmare so far for those guys up front.
Yeah, and they've reshuffled that offensive line. New offensive line coach, new system. Things have been going good. We all wanted to see how they would do in this game, and obviously so far not going well.
3rd and 19. Launched downfield for Pope, and it's broken up beautifully. Drifting way back in coverage was Andrew Booth Jr., who made that incredible circus one-handed pick last week.
Well, they are deep at corner. Brent Venables, defense coordinator, said the biggest difference with this team, first thing with all these new faces, he said the depth, how about that? The depth at corner. Booth is a 5-star, great length. It's 6 feet tall, goes up and knocks that ball away, and great timing on a ball that was thrown 50 yards in the air. What an athlete.
Rogers standing at the Clemson 40 to receive Headley's punt. The Aussie on the run, drives it deep, and another fair catch made at the 39. So good field position as the Trevor and Travis show retake the field up by a couple touchdowns.
Kevin Agani in studio. Notre Dame playing their first game in 21 days. Florida State's 3rd-string quarterback, Jordan Travis, to Tamarian Terry, 48 yards. FSU up 17-14 in South Bend. Ole Miss, by the way, up 14-7 over Bama. Chris, back to you.
Clemson will visit Notre Dame, by the way, early November. There's Andrew Booth. Broke up that play to in the last Miami drive, and now the Tigers' 3rd possession. Lawrence rolls out, chase, and he'll be spun down. That's Jalen Phillips. That's his first sack of the season, misleading them. He's made a big impact in the 4 games.
Yeah, and he does a nice job of just showing what makes him so unique is his hands and then his relentless effort and attitude. The tight end, Allen, trying to keep him out, but you can see finally Miami's able to get pressure and bring Trevor Lawrence down.
Delayed handoff. Dixon got the turf monster, got him. He just stripped and lost 3 yards.
I think that Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator, Manny Diaz, they've got to continue to talk about the edges of their defense. Whether it's in the pass game, the ETN, or the run game, these backs are getting to the edge and hitting creases. And until they take that away, that is a dangerous proposition for this defense.
Good news for them is ETN is not in the backfield to catch what has been an unstoppable 3rd and long formula to dump down to the running back.
Getting 2 safeties back.
Play clock at 5. On 3rd and 16, it's a 3-man rush. And a downfield launch. Wide open and dropped. Wow. He was wide open, and Frank Ladson, a 5-star future star from Miami, couldn't collect it.
And remember, we've got a true freshman. He's yelling, trying to get the call. He's got deep half. He's got to get back. He don't know the call. He's in right now because of the ejection of Amari Carter, and the true freshman, Balaam, who's a great player, just didn't have the call. Catches a huge break by Ladson, dropping a huge play and maybe a touchdown.
Well, he's going to catch plenty of touchdowns. That would have been a sweet one, though, against the hometown Canes, and Dabo cannot believe it. So Miami, after that drop, able to force the first punt for Will Spires. Rolls out, low boot, and it'll just roll, and Blades will get away from it, and it will finally stop at the 8-yard line. Did he pick it up late? Did he scoop it up late and try to make something of it? Wow. That was risky. We had the music playing. We thought we were going to commercial. It was that Restrepo who came in there.
I don't know what the heck.
The other number 7.
I reached down to grab a glass of water there, and I thought we were at a break.
I mean, it wasn't whistle dead, and he thought, I'm going to catch all 11 Clemson guys and run 90 yards for a touchdown. It didn't work.
You know, they've got a lot of their starters out there covering that, not just the big punter.
It was actually, it had already been touched there. So, okay.
I don't recommend that.
Ball at the 15 for Miami when you come back.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
People always ask, is Miami back? And I mean, you mean like back like that? Like championships back like they used to be? The answer is no.
Just trying to get a first down right now, man. We're not thinking about back.
King zips it across the middle, and that's a nice catch. Nope. Couldn't hold it. Off the hands of D. Wiggins. You got to make plays like that if you're going to climb back in the game.
11:48 to go in the second quarter, and it's been a rough start to Miami. 10 plays, 6 yards, 2 first downs, 4 penalties, and they've been sacked 3 times.
Ugly to run all the way for De'Aaron King. Has some blockers, and he is knocked down hard at the 20. That's Landon Zanders with the hair flying out of the back of the helmet.
Yeah, there are a lot of new faces, but a lot of hungry new faces with this Clemson defense. Watch how the jerseys fly. Good job by Nolan Turner setting that edge, and you can see why they love 36 Zanders so much. He can move, and he loves to hit and play well against the pass.
King has not been able to hurt Clemson with his legs. He's been penned in, no scrambles, and that run sets up a 3rd and 6 from the pocket. Protection breaking down. He's knocked down, or pressured anyway, and now there's a scuffle, and it's 4th down for Miami again.
You know, I thought that ball might be batted, but instead his left tackle just got pushed into him. KJ Henry in his blind side, the defensive end, pushes the left tackle, John Campbell, right into him, and that's what made the ball go down into the ground.
Different ways to affect the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got all of them covered tonight.
He's waiting and waiting and waiting for somebody to get separation, and just not happening against this secondary.
O-line getting whipped and pushed around, and King really hasn't had a chance tonight. Headley, this is the first punt this year that's returned. Tremendous boot. Rodgers able to spin for about a 3 or 4 yard return to the 31-yard line. Kickoff for week 5 tomorrow morning. NFL countdown. Inside look at how the players' post-game jersey exchange is evolving this year. Randy Moss will show only the best catches from today's college games who got mossed. And then Monday night, ready to head to Foxborough. Right after this game, Kirk, we got the Broncos and the Patriots. Then it's the Chargers and the Saints. A doubleheader. That game in New England pushed back because of New England's positive COVID test.
Early kick in Foxborough. Looking forward to it.
ETN, not much. Able to pick his way for about a yard.
It was funny preparing for this game, you and I talking to the coaches. Both coaches, both sides used boxing references, right?
Very different boxers.
Very different. Right now, if you're watching this game, you almost feel like Miami in the early rounds, kind of on the ropes, just kind of holding on, right? They're doing just enough to kind of hang in there, and they need something positive to happen coming off the ropes here and avoid a knockout shot.
Lawrence rolling, chased, throws on the run, incomplete. Could not get the ball to Powell. Allison?
Well, to your guys' point, offensive coordinator for Miami, Rhett Lashley, actually had his guys watch the Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson fight. Not just because it was an upset, because he wanted them to see that there were ups and downs, the ebb and flow of the fight, but how Douglas just kept fighting to eventually win. And then Tony Elliott for Clemson, he told his guys, like, you're the champ, but guess what? Every champ needs a contender. That's what Miami thinks they are. He wanted to make sure that they had a good approach coming in, but we're ready to adjust if Miami threw a punch.
Yeah, Allison, Tony's a huge boxing fan. Floyd Mayweather was the comparison that he used, because he can do everything, whatever's called for. Another 3rd and long for the Tigers. They need 8, and Lawrence loops it downfield, and that time, no drop. The catch is made by Ladson as he beats Blades, and they're threatening again.
Well, Miami showed blitz, and they ended up coming man-to-man across the board. Trevor Lawrence saw it. One-on-one, he picked a favorable matchup with Ladson against Al Blades into the boundary. This time, as you said, Ladson at 6'3", who's from Miami, makes a much tougher catch there than the one he dropped earlier.
They fake it to Etienne. Lawrence with a pump fake, has time, looks downfield, and a flag comes in. Rogers not able to come up with it. He was out of bounds. The flag is in the secondary, though. Balaam in coverage. Pressed into duty again with Amari Carter ejected for targeting, and Gervin Hall unable to play in the first half.
Holding defense number 7 against an eligible receiver. Pass across the line of scrimmage. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Blades, who was beaten in the previous play and guilty of the hold.
Yeah, I think he got a little frustrated there and grabbed the back of Ladson's helmet, just brought him down to the ground. So it wasn't the receiver. Amari Rogers 3, it's on 2. Watch him right there. He kind of grabs him, slings him down before the ball is in the air.
Etienne hit hard. Flying up to make the tackle there. It's an aggressive play by Sam Brooks, a backup linebacker.
The more you see a Keontre Smith 4 and Sam Brooks, the more you really like what you see. You know, he was a defensive end in high school and is really learning to become more and more of a linebacker, just seeing the game from that second level. You could see the intensity that he could play with there in that middle linebacker spot.
So Miami Gardens very near the Canes home field, Hard Rock Stadium. 2nd and long. Lawrence still got it. Ooh, ball broken up there. It was Brooks working back into coverage. Nice play.
Yeah, a really good job. They brought a free safety blitz, and it frees up Brooks that time. Just kind of play almost like a robber. He's reading the eyes. He's anticipating that throw. Gets his hand up. He came very close to intercepting that, and if he did, it would have been a foot race between Brooks and Trevor Lawrence going the other way. Back-to-back plays there by Sam Brooks.
Kirk, have you heard me before? 3rd and long. Just like the Virginia game, they a lot of 3rd and longs, but doing well to convert them.
You're right. 5 of 7 so far on 3rd down. And that 4th down, where they got the penalty, was also a conversion. They're trying to mix up their looks with zone and man, but
they're just trying to hang together. A bunch of guys pressed into service in that Miami secondary. 4-man rush. Lawrence has time. Long throw, and the catch is made, and Rogers has a first down. Again, they dial it up on 3rd and long.
Yeah, and it's just how comfortable he looks. You know, it's supposed to be a stressful down, by the way. 3rd down and long, it makes most quarterbacks uncomfortable because you're going to get a lot of different looks. The game is so slow in the 3rd year for Trevor Lawrence. He sees coverage, he recognizes blitzes, just knows where to go with the football, and he's in rhythm with his drops.
What did Allison say? Knockout? Etienne stopped, no gain. Miami can't keep the Tigers out of the end zone. That might be a knockout here.
Oh no, it's early.
Struggled.
It's early. We're enjoying this. We're just getting warmed up here. You're trying to send people off to some other ball games, and we're competitive here. We're hanging in there.
Trying to keep it 100, as they say. I mean, if you're telling me if they go down 3 touchdowns, they got a great chance to come.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a long game. We'll see.
It's a long game, but this just feels a little urgent.
Yeah, it does. 8.5 to go to the half.
Lawrence still has it, flips it sidearm. Etienne with a flag down is knocked out at the 1. That might be in the holding zone.
Holding. Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Veteran Cade Stewart, the center, nullifies what would have been a play down to the 1.
We keep talking about all these skill players and the quarterback, and our question coming into tonight was the offensive line. 62 right in the middle. Stewart just grabs him, and big defensive lineman, and brings him down and negates the play. But, you know, other than a penalty here and there, they've really done a good job and beneficiary of this aggressive, up-tempo approach with Trevor Lawrence in command. They played very well.
That was the matchup Miami felt they had to win. Their D-line against the offensive line. In space, Etienne is closed down quickly and tackled at the 19-yard line.
And when you have a guy as gifted as Travis Etienne coming out of the backfield, the accuracy of the ball and the location, the ball placement is so important. And I know he didn't get out on that play, but he gave him a chance by putting the ball out in front of him and gave him a chance to catch it and still be able to run with the football. And here we go again, 3rd down and long.
They need 18.
I don't think the yards matter. It's just, can you get pressure to him? Can you affect him?
Dixon.
A lot of space at the top. One-on-one.
Lawrence tries to make something happen on the run and just has to throw it away. That time they pressured him big time. He's knocked about 10 yards out of bounds. No flag. And finally Miami able to get a 3rd down stop.
Yeah, he ended up going almost to the stand.
The brick wall over there.
But he was in bounds. Miami, you can see Phillips talked about his attitude, but he's well in bounds and he ends up just hitting a trainer and then going down.
Hope the trainer's okay.
Yeah.
It's a full speed collision.
Yeah.
The trainer needs a trainer. And the field goal. Boink. No good. So the first miss of the season for BT Potter. There is a flag down. Bolden got in there.
I think Miami roughed him. I think Bolden got in there and roughed him.
Man, he said it was deflected.
Yeah. That's why the initial flag came in.
There is no foul for running into the kicker. The defender tipped the ball.
Huge.
So the point is no good.
So Bolden, look at him. He made the boxing analogy. They got to get the cut doctor in there. He made a big play.
You just talked about how big the urgency of that drive. Miami was holding up as long as they could. Tipped right there. He ends up hitting the kicker, but as you said, with the tip, negates any potential roughing of the kicker, and that Miami defense bows up, gets the stop.
Total dominance yards 204 to 11. Miami, though, still on the ropes, not knocked out as Bolden makes that block field goal, and now the Canes try to get it going with Cam Harris, who's been contained so far.
I was going to say, you know, when you and I have called these Canes games against Louisville and Florida State, De'Ara King got a lot of attention, but their running game with Cam Harris and Donald Chaney and Jalen Knighton really had a lot to do with why they were able to be so effective and so balanced. It's like
5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Couldn't hear Jeff Flanagan. That's going to take away the 5-yard gain and put him 5 yards behind the sticks on 1st down.
They take a step forward and they take 2 steps back. It's been that kind of night.
Here's Lashley.
I mean, his entire system. See him. Let's go. His entire system is about tempo tonight and trying to level the playing field against this talented defense. How do you get tempo going when you can't get a 1st down?
You make a point, though. I mean, Harris is a workhorse. He's had a bye week to freshen up. We were told that he was 100%. That was his first carry, the one that didn't count. And now he gets a short gain here.
Yeah, and you try to run wide, and this defense has too much speed. You know, they've got to be able to establish something in the middle, the threat of that to open up other aspects of their offense. But I'm telling you, Rhett Lashley's going crazy right now on the sideline because what's frustrating him is they can't get this tempo going, and that's the only way they're going to move the ball.
Harris in motion, takes the pop pass, breaks a tackle, lowers the shoulder. It's a lot of stuff and a lot of hard work just to get back near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long. Sanders on the stop.
It's just incredible to watch the difference in Miami's body language and energy from the Louisville to Florida State to the Clemson game, and how this game is moving really fast for them.
Well, they try to get him not lined up, and finally King's going to make a play. A scramble, huge gain to Clemson territory. Downfield, block still running. Spins and is knocked down at the Clemson 22. Finally by Phillips, but you see the electric King.
Now they can get their tempo going. They bring the middle linebackers. Once he's able to escape, there's nobody there. Nobody left in the middle, and he's able to avoid Nolan Turner, the free safety, and then he has all the yards.
Clemson will spend a timeout on defense just to get a breather. That's the De'Ara King. It's been terrorizing opponents in the first 3 weeks. Finally, Miami has something going here. He's been sacked and pressured all night, Kirk, but finally De'Aaron King shows why he's one of the most dangerous scramblers in the country.
3rd and 8, linebacker blitz, tough on the safety, 24. Great block by Wiggins to keep him alive, getting even more yards. But that was, you needed your leader to make a play on 3rd and 8, and he did. Now let's see what they can do with it down here. It's tough to execute against this defense down in the red zone.
56-yard run. They had 18 yards total offense before that, and Harris is spun down for a loss of 2 by Tyler Davis, who returns to the lineup tonight. Inspector.
Yeah, he's reading the defensive end, and he really underappreciates the speed coming off the edge. That's a give read, but how quick the linebacker Spector is there to play you'd like to get out of. That's where the passing game and his ability to scramble potentially can come into play. You know, the toughest part about that timeout is it hurt their tempo that they had created off that big play. They had Clemson on their heels.
Test the middle again and nothing. Interesting call. Tyler Davis again plugging things up. It'll be 3rd and very long.
Red Lashley told us he wants to be patient with the running game. And I get it. You know, he said these are body blows. And, you know, in the second half they can become bigger. We can't get away from the running game. We got to be patient. But, man, tough one there on 2nd and long up the middle.
They're not wearing the defense down. They've only run 17 plays.
Yeah, of course. Comes that blitz.
They bring it from the corner. King lofts for the end zone. Jump ball. Fighting back where it was Wiggins. Couldn't make the play. Once again, they test one of the corners. It was Goodrich that time, and it's 4th down.
Wiggins waits to adjust back to the ball, in my opinion, too late. He needs to see it, recognize it, come back now. You can't see it late and then at the last second. If you would have recognized it early, he could have fought back through Goodrich and maybe drawn the flag.
Good job by Goodrich boxing him out, though. Legal play. Miami settles for the field goal attempt of 42 yards from Borregales. He's been a huge upgrade. One of the top kickers in the country so far. Man, he's Sunday ready, and he knocks it right down the middle. So Miami dents the scoreboard. About 4 minutes to half. 55-yard drive. 2 Miami graduate. Chris Felica, the Bear, with her athletic trivia question tonight, Bear. Keep your head up.
It's been a while since Miami has beaten a top 10 team away from home. It's been almost 15 years since they won in Blacksburg. Losing by an average 24 points a game since then. But that brings us to tonight's athletic trivia question. Which team has the most losses without a win versus top 10 teams away from home?
The most losses without a win. So you're talking about a team that's never beaten a top 10 team on the road, but's played a lot of them. So you're looking at one of maybe the lesser teams in a powerful conference, maybe.
That you're on the right path.
You're on. Okay.
I don't get credit for that. I have to name one of the teams, though, to get it right. Okay. Well, we will get it back to you, Bear, after the kick here. I got a bonus unofficial Aflac for you, so just stay alert here. You'll like it, though. So the long run by King, you said, what can they do with it? Well, they couldn't do much. A couple of runs put him in 3rd and long, and then the play by Goodrich, and they settle for the field goal. Borregales, well, he's just got a strong, he doesn't even get it. I just drives it deep into the end zone.
Canes are offsides there.
I've had a problem with the simple stuff, keeping your foot and your hands on the right side of the line of scrimmage. All right, Chris, put us out of the misery here.
The answer to tonight's athletic trivia question, it's Virginia with 33. That was a team, obviously, that the Clemson Tigers beat last week here at Death Valley. Virginia 0-33.
I got one for you. Who's the only guy in college history that has 20 career touchdown passes and 20 home runs in college baseball? Do you know that?
We'll say that again?
Has 20 home runs in his career in college baseball and 20 touchdown passes as a college quarterback. Only one guy has that.
How about the Clemson quarterback that was here right before Taj Boyd?
Are you going to answer? Or
my gosh, what was his
name? Kyle Parker. Good one.
Played for the Pirates.
Good job. Lawrence with a little fake push. Throws it over the middle. Galloway, the tight end, in space and into Miami territory.
Boy, Great little look pass. Fake the pitch, get the linebackers out of position, and then bring the big athletic tight end Galloway, who was lined up, flexed out, bring him back into the middle where the linebackers had left to chase down that fake pitch. Well designed.
Great design, great execution. You see Lawrence with the skill set. He's so physical. He's fast. The great arm. But Kirk, tonight it's the small things. The ball handling has just been tremendous. It's been wizardry, and it's frozen those Miami defenders, and it's fooled them.
Yeah, he just, he's looked great his whole career,
After
but
the play,
even more
foul,
under control.
Unnecessary roughness, number 21 defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Bubba Bolden, who's been bleeding. They've stopped the bleeding a couple times, but now 15 yards is going to move the ball inside the Miami 35.
I thought I saw a flag come in. He ended up hitting one of the linemen. I think it was Putnam late, and he's been frustrated. His two teammates play back at the safety, Carter and Hall, both not playing, so he's had to really become the guy. He's a very emotional, fiery guy. That time it cost his team 15 yards.
Way to be the guy, though, is to not do that. 65 yards in penalties. Here's Rodgers on the end around, gets a block. Flag comes in as he's knocked down at the Miami 24. This is going to be on the Tigers. It's a holding call.
Yep.
Holding, offense number 79.
Second time.
10-yard penalty.
Jackson Carman.
Yeah, he's the best offensive lineman. He's really the one guy on this Clemson offensive line whose recruiting pedigree matches a lot of the playmakers. They don't get a whole bunch of five-star linemen, but he's one of them.
Yeah, he's an experienced guy, talented player. The anchor right now, they took him out. And now they got 5 new offensive linemen. They take Jackson Carman, who's a little frustrated, out of the game. He has the second holding call.
2 Ohioans on that left side. You got big Matt Bockhorst at guard.
I think he may have talked back there to Dabo, and they ended up pulling out of the game.
Ooh, that's not good.
No.
That's not going to work here at Clemson. On 1st and 20, it's play action. Lawrence just checks it down. Rodgers cannot slip the tackle of Bolden, but it's a nice gain back inside the 35.
I love his eyes here. He knows he's going to go out to Rodgers. Watch his eyes. Look at his eyes. He's looking here, and eventually, boom, he goes out to the right. And all he's doing is buying time to try to keep 21 Bolden in the middle of the field, keep moving him, and then get it out to Rodgers, and now it's second down and medium.
Lawrence, 17 of 23. One of the incompletions was a flat-out drop by Latson earlier in the quarter. 193 passing yards. Etienne's back in the game. And then 2nd and 8. Travis has it and spins free, shows the muscle, and gets a first down to that 22.
He and the bench saw something there where they felt that the numbers were right. They got off the pass, went to the run, light box, so they're able to run Travis Etienne. And how about the balance again? He gets hit by Bolden short of the first down, but spins out of it.
Bolden had made that diving block. He's had a rough series. The penalty, the missed tackle there. Now Lawrence from the pocket flips it short. And this is Ladson again, who just skips out of bounds near the 10-yard line. It's another first down.
Simple mesh scheme, just trying to create a rub or a pick with those linebackers, Mari Rodgers and Frank Ladson working through the middle there, and easy read for Trevor Lawrence. They're just kind of taking their time here, methodically moving the ball down inside this red zone. 1:20 to go.
You always emphasize the last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 of the second half. And they execute extremely well. And there is an easy pitch and catch and a touchdown to Galloway as the tight end powers in, and Clemson stretches the lead. Let's double check it here. Boom, big collision, and the strength able to keep him in bounds.
Yeah, big collision there, but it did look like he broke the plane.
Balaam, one of those freshmen pressed into duty with Hall still out and Carter thrown out. Here's another look. Progressive pylon cam doesn't show us anything from that first angle that would take this touchdown off the board. Let's see where the ball is. Well, you can see where the leg is.
That's right. It's a good look at it.
He knows he's going to get a shot right here, and boom, he just loads up. takes the punishment, earns the touchdown.
I love how they moved him from the left over to the right. Defense lost him.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
So Galloway didn't have a score in the first 3 games, has a couple tonight. And what a performance from this Clemson Tigers offense in the first half against a defense that had been pretty stout the first 3 games. 269 yards.
Chris, I want you to show you again with Tony Elliott in this offense, just little things and how they affect a defense and their communication. Here's who scores a touchdown. These linebackers and these safeties, they can get lost. A little thing like this, they move them over here, and now watch the motion, fake, and then they slide him back out off of a play-action look. So lining him up on the left, moving him over to the right pre-snap, that makes those linebackers have to recognize that, communicate, and make the adjustment just in case it's not a handoff. And then they end up bringing him from the backside in play action and sliding him out to the flat.
Galloway let Balaam know that 50-pound difference between them, that was going to be a factor in that play. You looked at the little guy and said, no, come on. So, De'Aaron King has a minute 14 to work with. Miami does have all 3 timeouts, so get the ball to begin the second half as well as they try to continue the long uphill fight here in Death Valley. Dish halftime report, Kevin Negandhi, Mark Sanchez, and Booger McFarland. Oh, a lot to show you. It's been an interesting evening here. Ole Miss trying to stun Alabama.
We may need to get Boog to head down to Baton Rouge and get into a 3 technique and coach the boys up down there before they get ready for Florida. That defense, wow.
I bet you it was interesting to watch that LSU loss to Missouri today with Booger.
Yeah. Yeah, as a defensive guy watching that game in the first one against Mississippi State.
Now see if King can create some magic here before halftime. He will launch it way over the head of Mark Pope, who kind of broken the route off, but no chance to make a play there. 3 for 10 for King, just 29 yards. Didn't make the one long scramble, but that's been it in the first half.
The strength of this offense is De'Aaron King and the running backs, and then Brevin Jordan. And Brevin Jordan's had a quiet night. He's a tight end, but they move him around. Right now he's on the slot against Nolan Turner.
Pressure again. King looking for somebody, launches, and that's a nice catch.
Oh, they call it.
Take the ball. Oh, Harley couldn't get his feet down. Thought he was going to come down with it. Let's take a look at the end of the play here.
Yeah, I don't think he got him down. Both officials right there on top of it.
Nice job by Kendrick to hit him out of bounds, but I think he would have landed on the stripe anyway. So now it's 3rd and 10, and if they don't convert here, Clemson will have some time before halftime to add to the lead. Harris still waiting to make an impact play as the back, but they're looking the other direction. This is Jordan, and he is going to be ruled down. But that's before the marker. Xander's on the tackle. The knee went down 2 yards short, and it'll be 4th down. They tried to feed him a couple of catches, but hasn't been able to break free after the catch. No yards after the catch for the Canes tonight at all.
No.
Haven't been that many completions. On 4th and 2, looks like the Miami offensive players were lobbying to try to go for it here. Inside of their own 35. But you got to have a lot of things happen if you're going to beat his team as good as Clemson is on the road. There's a reason why they have these massive winning streaks. And boy, with Miami's defense needing to step up and make a play in that first series, you just go back to that Quincy Roche, the toe just over the line on the 4th down play. He goes back, almost makes a circus pick, but the penalty gives Clemson a 1st down, and it was all downhill for Miami since then.
Yeah, and I think after you make a mistake like that or a miscue, you can't really pout. Against Clemson, the one thing I've always been impressed about with them, it's 60 minutes. They do not let up. There aren't any peaks and valleys. You know, they just continually attack you in every phase of the game. And if you for a second feel bad or start to argue with each other or get flustered or get frustrated, they will pounce on you.
Is Clemson one of those programs now that, particularly in conference, takes the field with a couple touchdown leads?
It used to be Florida State when they had that 14-year run. To me, Clemson's become that team, especially here.
Whistle before the punts. Flag on the field. This will be the 9th penalty.
Team substituted late. If I rule that as a do-over, warning is the next occurrence would result in an unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's officially a do-over, says Jeff Flanagan. You don't often hear that word. But if you do it again, it's a penalty.
Yeah, Miami wants a do-over in the first half, I think.
Oh, man. There's a few plays that would love a do-over, especially on defense. Rodgers standing at his 25. And we got a flinch. Are the Canes again? This is no do-over here. This could be a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, KJ Henry just threw his hand.
False start. Offense number 3. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Saw the shot of De'Aaron King. Such a leader. He came early. Lost his dad in the offseason, went home. They delayed the start of spring practice a couple days. He was named the starter in July, but such glowing reports about his off-the-field contributions to this team. The steady hand. That's going to be tested at halftime into the second half if he's going to try to keep his teammates believing and get back in this game. Big uphill fight. There's a reason why Clemson has won 24 ACC games in a row. Speaking of fight, the NBA team from Miami has shown a ton of grit and fight. Jimmy Butler and the Heat winning a thrilling Game 5 to force Sunday's Game 6 here on ABC, 7:30 Eastern Time.
Here's an example of that attitude I talk about with Clemson. Things have gone pretty well. They're up 21-3, 49 seconds. Maybe work the clock, get out of here with a lead. No. They're thinking 28-3. Worst case, 24-3. That's their mentality. They're going downfield. They're going to attack Miami here.
They have one timeout to work with. Lawrence looking to launch it, and out of the backfield. Just couldn't locate the ball, Etienne. McLeod was in coverage trying to give chase.
I mean, how about that matchup? McLeod, who probably his greatest gift is knowledge of the defense and ability to get people lined up, not being the most fleet-footed of their backers, and right away a wheel route with Etienne, who is incredibly fast. And he just never saw the ball, or that would have been a huge gain.
McLeod making his 36th start. You saw he had to leave the field to get a rest. They look for Etienne this time, a dump down. He has a crease, breaks a tackle. Just tremendous strength. Silvera finally grabbed him, but all of that work during the quarantine back home in Louisiana, it shows he was already strong before.
He was. His lower half is incredibly strong. It's the area that he's grown the most. But I love his patience. Waited for the lineman, and then the burst, the acceleration to get behind him.
He's made 6 catches tonight. Lawrence over the middle. Galloway again. That tight end is free. He's into Miami territory. 19 seconds to go. They're not going to use the timeout. Rushing up. Clock restarts, and
you want to hold on.
Clocks the ball. Keep that timeout.
Hold on to that last timeout just in case. And
you said it full throttle.
Yeah, full throttle. They'll probably try to get about a 25-yard gain here. Clock it again unless they're able to get out of bounds, and then maybe take one shot at the end zone if everything goes well for them, and then have to settle for a field goal.
Potter, who had the attempt blocked earlier by Bolden, has great range. He's hit from 53 in pregame. A couple of 50-yarders in his career. So they need to get the ball to the 35. About 13 more yards to feel comfortable.
So this is the biggest difference with any quarterback, but especially with Trevor Lawrence, is his communication. When he was a freshman and they won the national championship, he was out there with a lot of veterans, and he just kind of respected them. 3rd year as a starter, man. He's a coach on the field.
From the pocket, Lawrence hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. They got to him that time. A blindside knockdown by Roche.
Roche, Great matchup against Jackson Carman. He gets around him again. It's the reason we've seen a couple holds by 79. Kind of a knee or a waist bender there, leaning forward. And against a veteran pass rusher like Roche, he'll make you pay for that. He gets right around you with quick hands and suddenness.
Tremendous flexibility. You're right, around the corner there. So it's 3rd and 10. We'll need to get a first down to have a reasonable chance at a Potter field goal try. Canes don't bring pressure. Lawrence steps up. They were spying him. He's hard to get to the ground. He breaks a couple tackles, but he's stopped. And Harrison Hunt grabbed him. They have to use the timeout here, and not really in field goal range.
Yeah, they actually brought Bubba Bolden late, way back from the free safety spot. And it actually affected Trevor Lawrence. So good job, back-to-back plays. See 21, he's kind of hiding it. He comes from about 10 yards out, and that's exactly where Trevor Lawrence slowed him down enough to let the rest of that defense get to him. Back-to-back pressures on Lawrence by this Canes defense.
Well, they're going to send out BT Potter. This is beyond his usual range. This is going to be a 61-yard try here. Wow. I mean, you saw him in warm-up from 53. A lot of times kickers won't try the super long ones. Warm-up, they want to save the leg for the game. My spotter, Mike Black, tells me. And they send Bolden back just in case the Canes have a chance at a kick 6. But a 61-yarder should be his long by about 9 yards. Steps into it, blocked, and the Canes have a chance. 20, 10, Wiggins with a blocked field goal. An electric play, and Miami suddenly has life, exactly what they needed.
Unbelievable. I can't believe that just happened.
It's Ivy with a touchdown.
I mean, you're thinking, wow, can this kid make it from this far? And if he doesn't, maybe Miami will have a chance to catch it and try to return it. Told you, Clemson's aggressive mentality, getting in there, getting pressure. Looked like Harrison Hunt got his hand, 81, on it. And then just by luck, the first luck that they have in the first half, the ball bounces right into the hands of Ivy, and it's a foot race between Ivy and the holder and the kicker, and obviously he's going to win that.
That's the danger of a long-range field goal attempt. It's unlikely to be good, and it's risky for that reason a little bit.
As bad as this first half has gone, 21-10, and they get the ball to start the second half. You talk about exactly what Miami needed to go in at halftime to create, not just get the score to 11, create some energy and some confidence and belief that they can get back into this game.
Got to drive it low when it's long. Harrison Hunt got the arm, and then Ivy, the corner, made some plays then at that position, scoops it up. And the Miami special teams make a big play to cut the lead to 11. Dabo Swinney, a lot to be ecstatic about in the first half on both sides of the ball, but that, I'm sure, will not have him in a good mood as he goes to address his team. We'll hear from him momentarily with Allison.
Coach Swinney, take me through the decision to try the long field goal and then your reaction to how it turned out.
Well, I've seen it in practice every day, and but that's a terrible decision by me. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine.
Why did you decide to make the long field goal? I mean, you saw him make some in practice. Did you think about the risk there?
Absolutely, yeah. I think about the risk. Didn't work out. Been a great call if we'd have made it, but we didn't. And ain't nobody's fault but mine. That's obviously a bad decision.
Other than that, you guys have been phenomenal keeping them in check offensively. What's been the key for you guys defensively?
Well, they're doing a great job of containing the quarterback. Obviously, he got away one time, but we've mixed it up. We've gotten some pressure on him. We've caged him up for the most part, so I'm really proud of those guys. Great red zone stand to hold him to a field goal. But, 2 block kicks. We had a penalty that cost us a touchdown. We dropped the touchdown. So, we're fortunate to be up right now, but I'm just disappointed in myself right there. It was a terrible, about as bad a coaching decision I've made.
Thank you, Dabo.
That is Dabo being as composed as he can because he's seething about the way that half ended, taking the blame for the blocked field goal. Miami, as the rain begins to fall, somehow within 11, despite total dominance from the Tigers. End of the half. Dish halftime report coming up after these messages. Welcome back. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Capital One. This presentation of the ACC on ESPN. Chris Mauler, Kirk Pursuit, Allison Williams. Got right back to work. The kickoff for the second half was a touchback, and now De'Aaron King and this Miami offense, which gained 79 total yards in the first half. Kirk, 56 of them were on that one scramble. So the other 20 plays, 23 total yards.
You'd expect some urgency here with their first possession after the score off the block field goal. De'Aaron King gets the ball. Let's see how they make adjustments. Oh, how about that? How about that?
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's been a tough game for Jared Williams, the right tackle, who came with King from Houston. He's a veteran.
That's 10 penalties on the night.
Rain, as expected, rolling in here, and it's going to continue, they believe, throughout the second half. Kane's challenge is not big enough already.
Wind and rain blowing in the face of this offense right now.
And they get Harris loose. He was a very quiet runner. They didn't really feed him in the first half. Spector and Kendrick combined on the stop.
Yeah, and I think Rhett Lashley, as a play caller, he's just trying to find that rhythm, the balance. And until he gets De'Aaron King running and throwing, they're just kind of trying to pick some spots.
Had it not been for the 5-yard penalty, that would have been a nice gain on first down, as it is 2nd and 11. Tigers crowd the line, bring the pressure. Ball gets out quickly, and Harley makes the catch, but hit very quickly there by Turner. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, Brent Venables brings the blitz with 6. Mike Jones, and the answer for De'Aaron King is to get the ball out quick to Harley at the slot. Does a nice job of catching it, but quickly brought down by Nolan Turner. It's exactly what Clemson wanted to set this 3rd down up.
Gains 2 of 7 on 3rd down in the first half.
Now they're just showing it and backing out.
King on the keeper, and on the delay, went nowhere. Tigers closed him down quickly there, and it's 4th down. KJ Henry on the stop.
Well, that defensive line, I had a lot of questions. I want to see some of these new faces, but you talk about pushing people around. What a play there by Mike Jones. 98 Miles Murphy, Mike Jones 6. I mean, they pushed that Miami offensive line right back into the backfield. KJ Henry involved there as well.
So a 3 and out to begin the 3rd quarter. Headley has been busy tonight, the Aussie punter. Low drive. Rodgers on a wet night makes the prudent choice and the fair catch. Here's our Pacific Life game summary. Clemson very sharp early. Galloway a couple of touchdown receptions.
That was after the 4th down where Miami had gotten them off the field but lined up offside, and Miami ended up paying for that. And a lot of Travis Etienne, but this gives Miami at least some hope. The long field goal attempt, they block, and Ivy takes it into the end zone. I thought Dabo, he talked to Allison Williams and just said, what do you want? It's my fault. Probably one of the worst coaching decisions that I made. He just said it.
That time they tackle Etienne for a loss after the completion. Frierson.
By the way, when a coach says that, falls on a sword, players listen to that, respond to that. And I guarantee he went into the locker room and said, guys, that one's on me, 100%, bail me out. Let's go out the second half and bail me out. I thought that was the right thing to say by Dabo Swinney after that call.
Yeah, he was seething, trying to keep it together so he could get in and deliver that message to his team. Clemson behind the sticks, play action, and it's incomplete. Wow, official got run over. Bubba Bolden was in coverage there. Tough guy hops right up, the umpire.
Yeah, he sure did. But Bubba Bolden making a play, jumping on that ball. Should mention, very important if you missed the first half, Amari Carter 5 was kicked out of this game for a targeting. Gervin Hall now is back, 26, in for Brian Balaam, who was forced into action as a true freshman. So now on the back end, they've got 2 really good safeties in 26 and 21.
3rd and long again. They pressure Lawrence, who escapes. Can he get there with his legs? No. Ball comes out. Is it a fumble? Miami falls on the football at the 40. He was trying to make something happen, and it is a takeaway. And we'll see the first appearance from the chain. Frierson came up with it.
How about the effort by Phillips chasing this from behind? But I think it's 21 Bolden who eventually knocks that ball out with his shoulder before the knee touched. We'll take another close look at that, but it is Bubba Bolden having a night tonight. And we'll take a really close look to see if that leg touched before the ball came out.
So as it stands, Miami has the football, trying to cut into this lead in Clemson territory. We'll take a break as they take a look. Review stands. So it's a fumble by Lawrence. Picked up by Frierson, the first appearance of the chain tonight. Bolden forced it, and now King and company from the 40. A pop pass. Rooster Knighton, the freshman who thought about coming to Clemson before choosing Miami, and he's knocked down. Hasn't made an impact play yet tonight.
No, not yet. He is very gifted as far as speed. But speaking of speed, those orange jerseys can fly. You know, you try to run in the middle, and you got to deal with Tyler Davis and Bruzzi, 11, the true freshman. You try to go wide, and you got safeties chasing it inside out. You got corners that are setting the edge. It's tough. Run the ball on these guys, the way they run.
And they haven't tonight, you're right. Harris on 2nd and 11 is in the game. King launches downfield, looking for Harley. It's a jump ball. Couldn't fight back to it. Again, boxed out well by Andrew Booth.
Again, when the ball is underthrown, a lot of times in college football, underthrown intentionally. Booth is a very talented corner. You got to be able to find a way to work through him when you come back. If you can't get to the ball, try to work through the defensive back to draw that flag. And he was unable to do that.
Booth is a guy that's targeted a lot because they kind of leave Darian Kendrick alone on the other side. And he's a guy that's been gaining confidence as he's been tested throughout the first 4 games. 3rd and 11. King, it's a straight run. Can he escape? Yes, works free. It's a first down. De'Aaron King with another productive play with his legs, and the Canes are at the 26.
You know, he was brought down by Spector 10. Watch 10 chase him from behind. Right there, he's got him. It gives you an idea. You know, he's got really strong legs. Low center of gravity, pulls out of the would-be tackler there.
Now looks to launch to the end zone, and it's intercepted. Fighting back to make the pick was Sheridan Jones, the corner, and Miami's drive is flushed out as King throws a pick for the first time this season.
Now that is how you play as a corner. Sheridan Jones, really good position. Turns and looks for the ball when the receiver does. The receiver goes down, but Sheridan Jones is in perfect position. Had his arm there, just kind of holding there, knows exactly where the receiver is, but most importantly, got his eyes turned around to locate that football and go up and make the interception.
Well, King trusted his receiver, try to make a play. That was Wiggins out there, but not a good decision. And the Canes cannot cash in their first takeaway. They turn it right back. And it's the Tigers now from the 20. Etienne, he gets the edge and bounced out of bounds after a 3-yard gain.
You only get so many opportunities when you're playing a team like Clemson on the road. You get a handful of opportunities, and you got to capitalize. And you know, they got the big turnover, the fumble by Lawrence, plus territory, big scramble for a first down. They got a shot. They take a few shots, and Sheridan Jones takes it away from him.
109 attempts this year for King before he threw a pick. Lawrence, off the fumble in the previous possession, takes off and slides. He doesn't like to do that. He'd prefer to lower his shoulder, but he says he's getting better at protecting himself, which is a good idea.
Yeah, I tell you, man, he covers a lot of ground when he pulls it down and takes off with those long legs. As we saw in the semifinal last year against Ohio State, has breakaway speed.
Play action, zips it far side. It's a low throw. Carter couldn't come up with it. Allison?
I thought it was interesting, Chris, when we talked to Trevor about the contact. He said that he needs to do a better job maybe of protecting himself, but not for his future, for the longevity of this season. He said, I play for now. I want to win the game. I'm not going to worry about the future, but I do want to protect myself for this season. And he said he feels like it's real once he takes that first pop in a game.
2nd and 10. Again, looks one way, throws the other, but Etienne got caught up in traffic. It was Keontre Smith. Clemson fans wanted a flag, but there isn't one.
Yeah, Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator from Miami, clearly at halftime, he talked to his linebackers and he said, I'll tell you what, we may go down tonight, but number 9 coming out of the backfield, I'm done watching that. That happened too many times in the first half. That time, anywhere he's going, the linebackers are following. That time, Smith right with him. And if that ball's thrown accurately, Smith maybe picks it off.
Well, 3rd and 10. Here we go again. Clemson so efficient, so effective on these 3rd and longs. Canes, can they pressure him? Now it's a low throw. Rogers makes the catch, but it's not a first down. It'll be 4th and 4. So Miami's defense, after the takeaway, able to force a punt here.
Yeah, they come out, made some adjustments, getting Trevor Lawrence off the field with a fumble. That time they get a 3rd down stop. They're getting the ball back to De'Ara King in this offense.
Got to be careful now, the kicking game with this rain falling here. Potential misplay every time a special teams play happens. Xavier Restrepo, a freshman receiver, is back deep for Miami at the 15. Miami backs out to try to set up the return, but a flag before the snap.
You know, Miami a late
timeout.
Yeah, late timeout.
Miami.
I don't know if they were concerned about a potential fake there.
Normally you wouldn't want to spend the timeout down 11 in the second half, but you're right. I think something they didn't like about what Clemson was doing in the formation.
Well, they had both their gunners at the top on one side, and I think that's maybe what caught their eye. They must not felt that they were in position to defend that.
That's good. It's a good little wrinkle when you can get your opponent to spend the timeout early in the half. So you see De'Ara King. He's been around a long time. He's not going to let a mistake rattle him. We have to shake that off. At Miami, we've used the boxing analogies all night because both coaching staffs have used it with their team. Still on the ropes. Not knocked out yet. Spires with a low punt. That's an Aussie-style punt. Restrepo, you sensed it was going to be a potential disaster. He boots it out of the end zone, and that will be... See how they rule it.
It's
touchback. Yeah, he didn't actually possess it. Just kind of muffed it out of the back of the end zone.
I don't know what the heck he's thinking tonight. Couple mistakes.
Running on the field as the receiver never possessed the ball. The result of the play is a touchback.
Yeah, if he holds it long enough, of course, it's a fumble. It would have been a safety. They're ruling that he didn't have possession of it. That'll get a conversation from the head coach. You're right. Just get away from this.
It's going to roll to the back of the end zone.
Off his shoulder pad, and Canes catch a break. The ball booted out of the back, but they'll retain possession at the 20. Allstate bus made the journey from Atlanta up to Clemson. What's your Allstate protection spotlight today?
Well, the LSU Tigers had a chance, even though their defense didn't play well. Marshall against Bledsoe, 4th and goal. They had 4 tries at the 1-yard line. Denied. Bledsoe protects his own end zone, and the Missouri Tigers get a huge win at home against LSU.
Stunner. Off the interception in the end zone last possession, Miami begins a long way from pay dirt, and Harris is bounced backwards, hit in the backfield, escaped. But again, Spector, who's been tremendous tonight on the hit.
Yeah, he's leading the way, and eventually about 8 other orange jerseys and helmets get in there. Reality is it's really tough to sustain a drive against this defense, right? So that's why they keep taking these shots. They keep trying to find a matchup where maybe they can win on the perimeter.
Jordan held to just 3 catches for 31. Mallory, the other tight end, has not caught a pass tonight, and that's off of Jordan's hands. So even their top weapon couldn't come up with wet football. Skowski was patrolling in the neighborhood, though.
No, they're all over it. Skowski's right there. Even like you said, if Jordan makes the play, it's a loss. They're dialed into this offense right now. Whether it's a handoff, quarterback run, everything's taken away. Everything. There. Clemson is dialed in on this plan, and they do not feel threatened on that vertical pass game. Allows him to really attack.
3rd and 12. King delivers. Farley makes the catch, but Harley's going to be stopped right there at the 25 by Turner. It was Miami that had the bye week. It looks like Clemson's had 50 weeks to get ready for this Miami game plan. But they're ready for everything.
They are. And when Miami does get a pass off, it's a completion and boom, tackle right there. Very little after the catch. Really the best play is De'Ara King on a scramble. De'Ara King running the ball is about the only thing. And if they keep having to play with a long field, it's going to be tough to be able to put points on the board. Their defense got to give them a short field like they did a couple possessions ago.
Headley boots it. Rogers on a wet night bobbled it. A gasp from the crowd, but he catches it on the bobble at the 28. 8:08 to play in the third quarter. We talked about that LSU stunner. Bio Bengals try to bounce back in the swamp. The Gators let one get away late in College Station. ESPN College Football presented by Tide at 3:30 Eastern Time. SEC had 2 unbeatens entering the night. Georgia, which gave Tennessee its first loss, and Alabama, but the Tide in a battle with Ole Miss. 35 apiece midway third quarter. Etienne gets the edge again. And Etienne takes on the sidelines. Did he step out? He's still running all the way to the end zone. Travis Etienne. Yards as he tight ropes down the sidelines.
Counter play follows the guard, the tight end, Davis Allen. And then once you get him out here, he's going to make somebody miss. Just a slight step. He stays in bounds. And then a poor angle by Bolden because of the speed of Travis Etienne. Simple counter play. That's one. That step right there. He stayed in clearly. And then he has the speed. Nobody's going to catch him.
The rare elite running back who came back for his senior season and even in this bizarre offseason improved as a runner. And Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence, you get 2 early contenders for the Heisman Trophy, which will be presented virtually this year. The finalists will not go to New York. They haven't determined what day it'll happen yet. That's still being discussed. But you could very easily have a couple of Tigers on the Zoom as finalists, right?
No doubt about it. Boy, how about the blocks by the right guard, Will Putnam, the tight end, Davis Allen, both pulling around and just open that up for Travis Etienne. They got up to those linebackers.
You said it, Kirk. You take on a team as good as Clemson, especially in their ballpark. You got to have a lot of things go right. Miami had chances, couldn't take them, and now the lead is 18. Etienne breaks a couple of tackles. Look out, he's a sprinter. Boy, shades of things to come. Welcome to college football. Travis Etienne. I just had a sense.
Be ready. This guy is going to be a superstar.
Yes, he is a superstar. That was his coming out party, his first FBS touchdown game early in the 2017 season against Louisville. Now he has scored 67 career touchdowns, 60 of them on the ground, over 100 yards. He'd been kind of kept in check as a runner for tonight until that one. He had been used mostly as a receiver. Here's the block.
Yeah, I love to show Will Putnam, the right guard, 56, kind of gets to Roche right there, and then 84 right behind him. Opens that up. Look at that block. You see the impact on McLeod. Those 2 blocks were able to spring him loose, and then I was shocked that Ivy didn't use the sideline as his friend to try to at least push Etienne out, and he gave just a hesitant, like a stutter step, and just went by him.
He's smashing all the records, also climbing up the career ACC rushing charts. He's going to eventually own all the records in this conference. So Miami in a deep hole now, and King trying to make something happen. It's a short throw, incomplete on first down. Back to Kevin for an update.
Chris, so far in Oxford, we have 11 touchdowns, nearly 1,000 yards on the ground and in the air. Najee Harris's 3rd touchdown of the night, waiting for the extra point right now. 41-35 Alabama. Back to you.
Lane Kiffin, when he goes against Saban's defense, I mean, they can make things happen.
He's calling a few ball plays this year for Ole Miss with Matt Corral.
Number 9, you know, Saban's not. He's not loving it at all.
No,
they may get the W, but he won't love the evening.
Of course. What is going on with the SEC? It's like the Big 12 is breaking out in the SEC. All these shootouts.
Brevin Jordan, by the way, being looked at by the trainers. Miami's most effective receiving weapon so far this season has been kept in check tonight. Not in there now on 2nd and 10. They flip it short. Harley makes the catch, and he bumps into a blocker. He ran into Pope, who was trying to create some space for him, so it'll be 3rd down. Jordan, that doesn't look good. He's grimacing, and it's his kind of his right pec shoulder area. It'd be costly if he loses time. Meanwhile, the Canes, midway 3rd, need 6 to keep this drive alive. Jalen Knighton, the freshman, is in a tailback. He goes out with the formation. King trying to make something happen, fires it over the middle, and the catch is made by Will Mallory, his first of the night, but the tight end stopped right there, short of the line. Let's see, the forward progress spot. It's going to put him about 2 yards away.
Yeah, and boy, Brent Venables is doing a really good job on De'Aaron King, giving him pre-snap looks, showing blitz, showing man, and at that time, dropping, putting 8 guys in coverage. Can't believe that. Wow. I don't know how they showed that.
I mean, they moved the ball up to the 35.
Rolling on the field was a completed pass. That play is under further review.
I think he's at about the 34, about a yard short.
I was going to say, I mean, to the naked eye, live here, forward progress is stopped right there. I think they're going to spot the ball back.
Not even close.
It was a terrific play by a group of Tiger defenders to keep him. You know, Mallory overshadowed by Jordan, but he's a very athletic, NFL-looking tight end. He hadn't made a play tonight. They've done a great job on him.
He's been in line, and Brevin Jordan's been flexed out. Skalski makes a really good. And we keep talking about yards after the catch. Can they get free? But there's just not a lot of room. And Skalski, the leader, the veteran, right there to keep him short of the 1st down.
It was an extremely generous forward progress spot, and we believe that Bruce Palmer, the replay official, they work in concert with the ACC Command Center in Greensboro, which will step in to occasionally try to correct something they see as a flaw, but it's Palmer's call to make.
Really incredible how many new faces are on this defense, and yet how active they are and how they're moving around.
After
and being
further
so
review,
multiple.
the pass was complete, but the runner was short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th and 1/2 yard to go from the 34.5-yard line.
Offense on the field,
though. Start on my signal.
Down 18. Diaz knows he's got to do something here to try to keep upset hopes alive. Knighton is the back. And the Rooster won't get it. Skalski from that middle linebacker position laid a hat on him. The freshman never had a chance, and Clemson will take over.
Skalski just made the play to keep him short, and then he makes this play right here, submarining along with Tyler Davis, taking away the middle. Watch this linebacker get underneath the guard and then submarines the back, Knighton.
You can't do it better than that. Skalski, a guy who had a tough offseason. Remember, he was kicked out of the championship game for targeting. Actually had to miss the first half of the opener against Wake Forest. But he has been inspired since then. Big smile on his face. And a big play. And then after the end of the play, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Miami will move Tigers even closer to try to blow this thing wide open now. Larry Hodges, the tight end, flag, just a sign of frustration for Miami. Ches Malusi, fresh legs in the backfield. They fake it to him, and they flip it out. Heavy traffic. Ladson is knocked down near the line of scrimmage. And Clemson's defense Had heard about all the hype of this Miami offense and was justified. They were gaining almost 500 yards on average against UAB, Louisville, and Florida State. They have been smothered tonight. 116 total yards. And again, they hit Lawrence, and this is DJ Uiagalelei, the backup quarterback, who's a 250-pounder. We saw him with a package of plays in the first half. Short gain there. It sets up third down, and Lawrence is back.
And he is the future. Every time we get into a new season, Clemson has young players that are having to kind of wait their turn until they become the guy, right? I mean, that's part of the beauty of this program and the longevity and the consistency of it. And he'll be the guy next year when Trevor Lawrence goes off to the NFL. I think it's smart.
Uiagalelei comes from California, reflects the national recruiting of this program. Play clock at 3. Lawrence drops back, fires across the middle. Inaccurate throw, one of the few tonight, trying to find Powell, and it's fourth down.
Yeah, just not quite on the same page. I think he was anticipating Trevor Lawrence a different angle on that route, more upfield as opposed to coming across the middle. You can see he and Brown just not quite, or Powell rather, just not quite on the same page.
So here's Potter. He had one blocked by Bolden, then blocked again by Harrison Hunt. Returned for a touchdown by Ivy. This is from 33. High snap. And it's blocked again. And the Canes trying to create some more magic with special teams. That has been a solid area for Clemson this year, cleaning up some problems of last year. But Dabo just livid again. They're having a heck of a time kicking field goals all of a sudden.
I mean, he's fired up, and if you're a Miami fan, you're thinking, man, this is giving us our best chance. Bolden gets in there again. Gets his left arm up to block this one.
It's a second block for the safety. Both of them like that, kind of deflected. So Miami still hanging by a thread here, down 18.
Well, you know, if you're just tuning in, they blocked one, and they were able to get the ball, you know, bounce right up to Ivy, and they score a touchdown.
Sideline warning, Miami. Their first warning.
A lot to admire about Bubba Bolden. He's talked about the frustrations of this defense. He's been cut. He's stopped the bleeding a couple times. He continues just to play hard.
The whole defense, really. I mean, just considering how much they've been out on that field, with their offense not doing much, they're playing well. All things considered.
Looking downfield. Harley tried to fight back, and that's a flag on the safety Turner. He can't believe it. Underthrown there.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Rhett Lashley is telling De'Ara King, it's about the 4th or 5th one we've seen. Underthrown. Throw the deep ball. Just throw it up. I don't care if they're covered. But there wasn't a lot of contact there at all. I mean, he touched him, but because the receiver went down, I guess is what drew the call.
Not usually enough to draw a flag in college football.
No.
Canes from the 35, immediately King pressured, escapes, fires incomplete.
My point was, I think Lashley's telling King, put it up there. If we don't catch it, maybe we'll let's come back to the ball, work through the defender, and try to draw a pass interference call.
That's the one thing that really hasn't been clicking for the Miami offense really all year. That's the deep shots. They coming into this game, they've taken 17 of them, only hit on 4 of them, and it's been very unsuccessful tonight as well.
I think that's the area that Manny Diaz is still trying to get to that next level. You look at Chaney and Knight and the 2 true freshman running backs. I think to get to the next level, they've got to find players with similar ability as Chaney and Knight, but out at receiver.
Both Chaney and Knight, the freshman in the game, flanking King, who drops back and looks down the sidelines. Intercepted. He tried to get it to Mallory, and Darian Kendrick, the All-American candidate at cornerback, makes the second pick tonight for Clemson.
You know, there's a matchup that they wanted to get with Mallory at 6'5". Kendrick, the former receiver, at about 5'11". But to have that, you got to put it up in the air. Look at the confidence of Kendrick. He plays it as a receiver, sees it the whole way, but 6'5", you got to float that one up in the air. It was too flat, and it gave the undersized Kendrick a chance easily to go up and intercept it.
The only returning starter in the defensive backfield for this Clemson defense hasn't allowed a completion in coverage all year. And there's another conversation between Lashley and King. So Clemson from the 40 going to build this lead. 5:03 in the third quarter.
Sudden change, take a shot. No.
Dixon. Excuse me, that's Malusi, the fourth string tailback, making a nice run.
He did. He you know, able to work through. They keep running that same counter play with the backside tight end and guard pulling and leading the backs through.
Lucy got 9, comes in there deep into the third quarter, eager to make a play, and he keeps it. Trevor rode him for a long time, finally gave the ball to him. Roche in the tackle, but it's first down.
Trevor gets caught up. Just eventually just said, what the heck, I'll just come with you.
Miami with some backup defensive linemen in there. It's been a tough night. Clemson has dominated time of possession and run almost double the number of plays Miami has. Play action, Lawrence lofting downfield and could not connect with Brandon Spector. It was over the outside shoulder. He was looking the other way.
And Trevor took a shot there on a blitz. I mean, he took a big shot.
He's taken a few shots.
And they brought a linebacker blitz, Smith, 4. Brought a couple of different linebackers, and 4 ends up getting to him right after the throw, right in the sternum there. He's down. He's, like you said, Chris, he's taken a lot of shots tonight.
He took a couple to the head earlier. Could have been a targeting on Jennings. That wasn't called. And a shot to the midsection. Keontre Smith delivered that one. And this place is hushed. Presumptive #1 pick being looked at by most of the athletic training staff at Clemson. So now they're going to take another look to see if it was an illegal hit on the quarterback. It didn't look to be targeting there. They're reviewing it.
And Trevor Lawrence, whether the crowd reacting to him jogging off the field. Yeah, just had the wind knocked out of him.
That's what you hope. That shot to that part.
Yeah, right there.
We waited a while before buzzing down the replay booth, which is just to the right of us here.
It's one of those hits he'll feel tomorrow.
Uyunglele, meanwhile, is in the game. Quarterbacks, of course, in college not afforded the same protection they are in the NFL, but they're working their way toward that with the rules. Lawrence smiling. He seems to be just fine.
Yep.
This was not called on the field. The booth, of course, can. Bill LeMonnier remotely keeping a close eye on things. Bill, you think this is going to be viewed as targeting?
After further review,
he's got the
that
head
was
down,
targeting
crown of the helmet.
number
If
4
you
on
use
the
the crown of the
defense.
helmet as your forcible point, he's attacking, driving the helmet into the stomach. It's from your head to your toes when you use the crown of the helmet.
Yeah.
So I won't be surprised if replay creates this as a targeting foul.
They have, and Keontre Smith, the second Hurricane defender to be ejected. Of course, he'll miss the first half of the next Miami game, which is Pittsburgh.
Trevor Lawrence trying to negotiate, even though he was injured there, with the targeting call. I don't know if, Bill, if that's a rule or not. He's trying to get back in the huddle and say he's ready to get back on and not have to miss a play.
No, he's going to have to miss a play.
Okay.
Here's the crux of this. I didn't feel it was as much with the helmet. He goes, well, I guess he did bring the helmet right into the bread basket there.
Well, it's just a lowering. When you lower that, the helmet and the crown collides with a player. They're just trying to protect the defender as much as the offensive player.
And you are defenseless by rule if you follow through in a throw like that. So there you see Carter, and now Smith out. Ball moved to the 32. Lawrence not in there. And they pitch it to Etienne. He weaves his way for 9. You just feel like every time he's got it, it could be pay dirt.
And Trevor Lawrence comes back onto the field, and you're right. Where they just, like they've done for so many years, they stretch you horizontally, and it creates vertical seams, whether the passing game or the running game. Defense is stretched all over the field.
Etienne hurdles a man into the secondary, slams another defender to the ground, and muscles for a 1st and goal. Another collision with Bolden there.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of backs that can hurdle a guy, and when he lands, not slow down his momentum. He went airborne and hit the ground, still at about a 15 on a treadmill, and then threw a defender right to the ground. Almost got into the end zone.
1st and goal, he's got it again, and he's knocked backwards. That was a nice play by Roche.
You know, when you watch football in the 80s or 90s, there were so many running backs that you would just, you know, you would watch the highlights and watch the backs. College football, we're in an era where it's about the quarterbacks and the receivers. Travis Etienne, you don't want to leave the room to go to the kitchen to get a drink when he's on the field, because you don't know what he might do.
I thought he might get the hat trick of rushing touchdowns. He's out, though, and Darian Rencher in the game on 2nd and goal. Lawrence with a keeper, and the big fella takes another shot, but scores a touchdown and spikes the ball, saying, take that. A flag comes in.
Well, there was a flag, I think, offsides. Miami lined up offsides again.
There's a lot of flags out there. There's a flag on the side, and then Frierson delivered a shot as Lawrence was already in the end zone. It's been chippy, to say the least.
And they lined up again offside. And then Trevor.
They called the spike.
The spike, yeah.
So the offside penalty. And the touchdown stands. And then all the shots that Lawrence has taken, he gave it all.
They declined. The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 16 on the offense for spiking the ball at a player. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff. Number 16's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
And he's mad at himself. That was an old school NFL type spike right in the face of the defender, but you can kind of forgive him.
That's what I love. Everybody's going to fall in love. Mel and Todd, they're all going to break down. He can make the throw from the right hash to the far boundary. What I love about Trevor Lawrence is him spiking the ball and showing, you know, you knocked me out, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to show that I'm going to fight. That's what his teammates love about him. But the run by Travis Etienne really set this thing up. And this is what I was talking about. How many guys can hurdle a guy, and then when they land, still be running at full speed, and then the physicality, throwing Bolden, and then they get the touchdown run. Lawrence goes in, and that's just competitive. Fire and gets up, lets Frierson know that, and he really didn't go after Frierson. He just kind of more fired up with himself that he came back and scored that touchdown.
I had a little word with the safety, though. The shot came after he had broken the plane just, but Lawrence, feisty, fired up. You love the fact that he can make all the throws you mentioned, but you also love that part.
It's just rare when a guy's going to be, I guess he's going to be the first pick overall in the draft. Typically, you see a lot of guys that are a little careful. They don't want to get in the mix like that. They want to protect themselves and their future. It doesn't even, Allison talked about it when he was with us this week, it doesn't even cross his mind thinking about April. He's thinking about tonight. He's thinking about this year. He's just trying to compete and win.
Well, there's no doubt that he's the presumptive first pick. A lot of guys would not have even played this season, to be honest.
Yeah.
In his position.
With everything that's
feeling all you could do is go down when it comes to your future, but he's enjoying the present a whole lot.
And I think that's an example for all players. You know, when you're in that position, to welcome the competitiveness.
Hope brings it back on the short kickoff and is knocked down at the 25. right above us here tonight. The Taco Bell Live Moss student section lives on. Go to livemosstudentsection.com to learn more. Students in the upper deck, everything reconfigured here. The folks are socially distanced. And the coach telling me before the game they spent hundreds of man hours trying to figure out how many people they could put, how to space them properly, how to keep things safe. And one of the wrinkles is that's where the students are this year. So a 25-point deficit now late in the third quarter, and King escapes, scrambles, and gains about 6. Jake Venables, one of 2 Brent Venables' sons. Tyler is a true freshman safety on this team, making the tackle.
And Jake's got a great future with Skowski moving on. He would be the next middle linebacker.
Wiggins makes the catch and scoots for a first down.
Yeah, looks
like a flag down.
Got maybe a hold there on Miami.
You're right. It'll be the 13th Hurricanes penalty tonight.
Offense number 28. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It's close, Kirk. The penalty yards and the total offense they've gained. It's almost a wash, and it's never good.
No.
122 total yards of offense in their 38 plays. 115 yards in penalties.
Second and 14.
Chaney is the back on 2nd and 14. King looking to throw downfield, and the catch is made over there. Nice catch made by Wiggins, and they do get a first down working on Jalen Phillips in coverage.
Yeah, that was a great throw that time. And Phillips really did not have any chance at all, and really Derek King working around in that pocket. A rare first down for Miami to try to get this offense going again with an up-tempo approach.
3-man rush. They just let him dump it down to Chaney and then tackle him behind the line. That's Booth, the TFL.
Yeah, I think Brent Venables told us that mixing up the looks and getting eyes on King, whether he scrambles or makes him throw underneath, it allows the defense to see the ball and rally to it.
2nd and 13 again, a 3-man rush, allowing King to survey the field and take a shot, and a diving attempt incomplete. Look for Wiggins, covered by Sheridan Jones. He had the pick earlier, and Wiggins down on the field still.
Yeah, he had all kinds of time with just rushing 3 and dropping 8, and these are the plays. He must have said we got to make plays on contested balls. He must have told me that 10 times this week.
Well, both sides felt that the matchups in the outside lanes, as the coaches like to say, the receivers against the corners were going to be key tonight. Of course, matchups up front have gone Clemson's way on both sides. That's made it very tough to find those guys downfield, but they have not come up with the throws and the catches when they've had a chance to connect.
I'll be honest, I've been very, very impressed with what we've seen from this defense from Brent Venables, A.J. Terrell, obviously in the secondary last year, Tanner Muse, Kayvon Wallace, Isaiah Simmons. These guys played a lot of football for Clemson. They're now all in the NFL, and you had Chad Smith and Logan Rudolph, Justin Foster. I mean, they lost a lot from that defense, and yet you look at Skowski and this defense, and other than different jersey numbers, it's what's impressive. It's that next wave of recruits, and they look very similar to what we've seen from those other players I just mentioned.
Figure to get stronger. The guy they call X, Xavier Thomas, you mentioned, he's going to be back soon. He's been laid low by COVID and injuries, but is about ready to go. King, they bring the pressure. Can he escape? He cannot. He's going to be swarmed and dropped way back at the 28. Venables got in on the play. The coach's son.
Yeah, he's right here. They also bring Skowski. He's eventually going to work his way around. They love movement, love to affect the communication. Poor Derek King just nowhere to go on that 3rd down.
Jake gave the old lawnmower celebration. He grabbed King's jersey long enough to let Skowski and company get there. More sacks by Clemson tonight than Miami had allowed total in the first 3 games. 4 of them. Miami total yards back down to 132. Meanwhile, Trevor Lawrence showing the whole skill set tonight. plenty of toughness.
Yeah, and again, that's what I think people are going to, when they really start to study him. You can see he took a hit early, said, boy, that one hurt on my head. But instead of starting to shy away from it, he just continues to play. And he told us on our call this week that he actually likes that part of the game. He likes being hit. He feels it just makes him get kind of in a zone and doesn't really worry about it. You know, it's, again, very rare to see from a high-profile quarterback.
Nissan Heisman watch. You see the stats of the two quarterbacks. Etienne again slips the tackle and weaves his way out near the 30. Of course, King, Heisman candidate worthy stats coming in. A rough night tonight. Clemson fans believe they've got the two best players in college football. They certainly have the top quarterback and the top running back, which is a pretty deadly combo. Put together some playmakers, defense, pretty good football team. Very much in charge tonight. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. ACC on ESPN. Ready for the fourth quarter. Get the DJ cranking here. Tigers fans and the Tigers players ready to dance the night away here and in the locker room afterwards. Powell makes the catch. That's a Eddie Van Halen reference. We lost one of the greats of all time. You got it. You got it.
Oh, yeah. I was with you.
Clemson eruption on offense tonight here. And a lot more time to add to it. If we keep going, we can get the whole
you might be able to
catalog in the fourth quarter here. Yeah.
I think you'll have plenty of time.
Seeing them live was a religious experience as a kid, I'll tell you. Hot pass. And wrestled down as Spector behind the line by Harvey. Still playing hard. Canes backups on defense in there. Guys with the clean jerseys.
Well, if you're obviously Manny Diaz, that's what he's trying to get across to his team. His defensive coordinator, Blake Baker, a great coach in his own right, also doing the same thing. I mean, it's so early in the year. It's one to have a setback like this. Tough loss, but you got to hope they keep fighting.
They're still fighting. That's a nice play. Frierson came up and hit the receiver behind the line.
Again, this side of the ball, considering who they're going up against and the way their offense hasn't helped them a lot. I mean, I know that it's 35 points, but you know, they made adjustments at halftime, and they've played a lot better, especially on that short and intermediate passing game in the second half.
Had to overcome a lot of mental mistakes, but you're right, the effort has still been there. 3rd and 17. And Lawrence just fell down. Bumped into Carmen, it looked like, goes down. And the Hurricanes will force a punt. You look at this team. Remember, there's no divisions in the ACC. So the conference only +1 schedule. Top 2 teams with best records will play in the conference championship game. It'd be shocking if Clemson weren't in that. So Miami can absorb a loss and then try to go back to work and try to potentially create a rematch.
That's right.
Season, far from over as far as their goals. But this has been a sobering experience tonight on the road.
Timeout. Clemson. First charge, timeout.
All right, so Dabo, before this punt, we'll talk about it. Up 25, early fourth. Miami's offense will get the football back, generating 132 total yards tonight, and almost half of that, 56 of that came on the King scramble.
That's right.
He's had a couple other runs. Just 79 passing yards. They have 5 first downs tonight. 5. Spires a low boot bouncing on the ground, and Restrepo, he's going to be about 15 yards away. Do not even try to touch that, young man. College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. We'll head down into the Hurricanes' hometown on January the 11th at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami after the 2 semifinals on New Year's Day. 2021 will be here pretty soon. No problem with that concept. The Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl will host the 2 semifinals. as Clemson tries to make it 6 consecutive years in the playoff, 6 consecutive ACC championships. Look very much
like they
to the conference.
They may have a shot to be out there one of those games.
The keeper. Nice ball handling. He faked out the Clemson defense and got about 10 yards. Allison?
Guys, it'll be tough for the Canes finishing out this game without one of their main weapons. Tight end Brevin Jordan is in the locker room being evaluated for a right shoulder injury, and he is unlikely to return.
Thanks, Allison. That is bad news. Of course, this one is going to be tough, but you need Jordan back there. There's a direct snap. Cam Harris, and it's a reverse. They got a little flea flicker. Ball thrown downfield, and the catch is made. So they create a little confusion there, and Keyshawn Smith, receiver, comes up with a catch.
One thing that's great about this is it ends up in the hands, instead of a wide receiver, it's the quarterback who lays it out there and has the arm and the accuracy to be able to put it up there and make the play to Smith.
Lashley, known for his trick plays, he waited a long time to go to page 106 of the playbook. Venables stopping Harris right there. It was fun, though.
They may need another one of those plays because the line of scrimmage down here is not very kind to them. I mean, their only chance is to put it up there and try to hope that a receiver can fight. Maybe Mowry with his size can go up. You can't run the ball against these guys the way they blitz their backers and the way their D-line is dominating the line of scrimmage. You have to make a play in the pass game.
By the way, that was a first career catch for Keyshawn Smith, and true freshman out of San Diego.
Did a nice job adjusting back to that ball, too.
2 true freshmen in the backfield again, Chaney and Knighton. Play clock winding down. 3, 2. No time to change the play. Did they get the timeout called? Diaz went racing over at the last second and did get the timeout. De'Eric, as experienced as he is, was trying to make late adjustments. That wasn't going to work. Take a break. 2nd and 12 when we come back.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
Tonight in the ACC Network, The Huddle is going to have the complete post-game report, including ex-Canes coach Mark Richt there on the left. Eric McLean, the old Tigers offensive lineman on the right there. Break down that shootout that the Tar Heels won in Chapel Hill over the Hokies today. Pitt, BC. You called the BC Superdog.
I did.
Game day. They needed an extra point miss.
An OT.
To get the dub.
Yeah. Take it.
And Canes trying to make something happen here late. Cam Harris has had a frustrating and not very busy night, I might add. They haven't fed their top running back, and you wonder why. You said they'd be patient with the running game. It really hasn't worked at all.
No, he's has 8 carries for 3 yards. That's probably why they haven't.
Well, but it took a long time to feed him. What about those body blows he kept saying to wear down Clemson? They could play 100 quarters and not going to wear down this defense. No. What they've done.
I told you, they got to make a play in a passing game down here. It's tough to run.
Harris goes in motion on 3rd and 7. The Kings thinking about running. Look at those quick feet.
Oh,
and look at, he breaks free. And the quarterback down inside the 5. He is just tough to tackle. You said it. Low center of gravity, great balance and strength.
Yeah, he got out of Skowski and then 2 other defensive backs that had a chance to bring him down well short of the first down. He almost got it to the end zone.
Elijah Turner, one of the backup safeties, couldn't bring him down. 1st and goal.
It's one way to run the ball down there. Break 3 or 4 tackles.
He's had a tough night throwing the ball, been effective as a runner, and on 1st and goal, they hand it off inside, and nothing doing for Harris.
I'll tell you who's going to be a future star is Miles Murphy, 98. We keep looking at this defensive line. Tyler Davis, we saw him play last year, 13, as a young true freshman with some veterans around him, and now Miles Murphy, man, he was a highly touted guy along with Brian Brzee, 11. And they have, both these guys are going to be that next dominant defensive lineman that we're used to seeing here.
Brzie's a 300-pounder as a true freshman. Murphy goes 275. They come in looking ready.
Yeah, they do.
For big-time college football.
Yep.
Second and goal. Mallory in the backfield. They hand it to Harris, and he barrels for a touchdown. So Miami's offense scores for the first time tonight and scores a touchdown against Clemson for the first time since 2010.
I don't know if they had enough men in the backfield. Illegal formation, maybe.
More than 4 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So John Campbell, this could get worse as the starting left tackle for Miami is down holding his right knee. Touchdown taken off the board, and this is the bigger concern now. Already Brevin Jordan with an apparent shoulder problem. Allison reporting is out for the game, and Campbell being looked at. So they'll move the Canes back. It'll be second and goal again when we come back. Walking slowly, but big John Campbell, the Canes left tackle, able to walk off. Now he's jogging. It's a good sign. You see an offensive lineman down holding that knee that was braced up already. So second and goal. Harris is the back. And King keeps it, batted in the air, and then batted down in the end zone. Nice play by Tyler Venables, the true freshman, younger Venables brother.
Yeah, he almost came up with it, but give Mike Jones 6 credit first. You see him off to the right there. He's just reading King. Can't get to him. Times it up perfectly. Great athletic move. And you see Venables back there almost had a chance to try to come up with the interception.
Of course, once the ball's batted, you can go run through the receiver as he did. And
pylon gives you a good look.
Third and goal. King rolling, looking to run. Can he escape? No. He's going to be forced out of bounds. Canes have just not been able to get the edge tonight and not been able to get up the middle tonight. That's Ray Thornton, a backup safety, making the play. It's fourth down.
I mean, I'm starting to look for some of these numbers, and yet the ability doesn't drop off much. Ray Thornton comes in there. Tyler Venables comes in there. Joseph Charleston comes in there. Jalen Phillips. And yet it's pretty similar as far as the ability.
And those backups trying to keep the Canes offense out of the end zone. Cheney is the back. King against a 4-man rush is flushed. Can he get there with his legs? Takes a shot but earns the touchdown. Jones banged into him, but King pays the price, and this touchdown will count.
You know what? That is such a big touchdown for De'Ara King. I know this game is over, but you're talking about a guy that came in with a lot of hype. This is how you continue to win your new teammates over after you transfer from Houston. You don't give up in a 35-10 game. Fourth down, you've been scrambling and fighting and everything you can do to try to keep your team in this game. And 8:30 to go, you're down 35-17, but you just love to see the fight in number 1 there.
Sure do. Well said. Leadership, one of his skills. Passing game hasn't worked, but King, 84 yards rushing, and the Canes offense first touchdown tonight.
Kevin Nagani in studio. The offensive eruption continues in Oxford. 14 total touchdowns. 8 from Bama. Najee Harris with 4. 56-45. Bama right now with the lead. My goodness. And then updating you all that scoring in the SEC. Go figure. Mike Leach and Mississippi State just 2 points in a loss to Kentucky. Back to Chris.
Kevin, we're just chuckling because you were saying it's a different era in the old SEC.
Has anybody got a first down or has Mississippi State been able to get many first downs other than the LSU game?
No.
Our Kansas slowed them down, and Kentucky's giving them all they can handle.
But the scoring in the rest.
I know. What's going on?
It's a short little kickoff that is going to be out of bounds and a penalty. A Pacific Life game summary. It's a quarterback comparison. It's tough to match up with Trevor Lawrence. Both quarterbacks have shown their toughness. Both have taken a lot of shots tonight, targeting on Lawrence that was flagged. 248. It's going to make it 12 games in a row without an interception.
The rushing yards, 84 for De'Ara King. It's probably been the best weapon. The main weapon for Miami's offense tonight is when he's been able to get out of there and make plays with his legs, which we thought would be a factor tonight. Didn't realize it may be the only factor for their offense.
Trevor's still in there. I thought we might see Wingalele, but no. And ETN still in the game as well. It's a shovel pass to Travis inside. Makes a man miss. And just decides to stay down inbounds. Bless him for keeping the clock running at the 44-yard line.
He's a good man. I can't believe I'm surprised he's still out there, but
I am too.
I mean, again, they want the work. Both he and Trevor Lawrence still out there. First team offensive line, receivers.
ETN didn't do a lot until that explosive long touchdown run. And put him over 100 yards, and now he's just churning away against a beleaguered Miami defense. Well, who is going to stop the Clemson on this schedule, Kurt?
Well,
go ahead. At Notre Dame, early November.
I would say at Florida State and at Virginia Tech could potentially.
Really?
You know, at least. I think Florida State's going to get better. I think that they're not going to beat. Nobody's going to beat Clemson on this schedule, but. You go on the road, never know.
Sometimes you know. Rensher wrestled down after 3.
Clemson always has had, just kind of one of those oddball games.
Right.
Over the last 4 or 5 years.
The Pitt game was the last home loss here.
Yeah, but
Syracuse on a Friday.
They've just had some games, even when they've won, it just like North Carolina last year. It's hard to predict that was going to happen. NC State here a few years ago. There's always been a few games you just can't explain. It's hard to be perfect every single Saturday.
They do a pretty good job of it, though.
They come close.
Carolina, as you mentioned, not on the regular season schedule. It could be a potential ACC championship game if the Heels can keep rolling. The Heels play Miami in the finale, which could be a very important game determining the other slot in that ACC championship game.
Yeah, good point.
Meanwhile, the Trevor and Travis show just continues to roll on. And this roster that Dabo Swinney believes might be his most talented. Now think about that, with all the talent that has come through here and gone to the draft. He's counting on the future potential of a lot of young players. They've got a bunch of true freshmen who played, but that is a pretty sobering statement for the rest of the league if that's true. They need a yard on 3rd down. Rensher is the back. He's got a first down as he backs down near the 20.
You think about some of the teams and some of the rosters that they've had since going back to 2013. I think 2013 is when they really turned the corner and became this Clemson brand of consistency. And to just look at the players that leave and go to the NFL, high profile players. And then tonight was a big question. Okay, Miami's building some momentum. How are these new players going to play? And you wouldn't think they missed a beat. Like they look like the brand just keeps going.
Power of the paw.
It's true.
More than doubled up the Canes in yardage you see there. Rensher still the back. We use just about all of the play clock and hand it to him, and he's going to be knocked down behind the line. Nesta Silvera is the starting defensive tackle on the play here. The rankings brought to you by Goodyear. Alabama having to fight off the upset bid in Oxford tonight. Georgia scored 27 unanswered to get past the Vols. We'll see the Gators at home against LSU next week.
Mac
Brown. It'll be fun when those Big Ten teams get into the action.
Yeah, well,
24th of October.
Couple more weeks.
Yep.
Mac Brown in North Carolina, great win today. Sam Howell played really, really well.
We'll jump over Miami and over Florida. Carolina could be sitting there at number 6.
Right behind
new rankings.
Yep.
Wow. Going to use all of the play clock. Lawrence looking to throw over the middle, and it's complete for a touchdown. Davis Allen with his first touchdown reception, and the guy that Tony Elliott says is his favorite player on the offense just because of his attitude and work ethic. Finds the end zone. They reward him with a touchdown.
Well, he is a big target for a quarterback to be able to throw to at 6'6", 250. Watch this play. He opens up, and Trevor Lawrence knew that he had him. Throws it right into that seam, gives him a chance, by the way he threw it, to catch the ball and then get down and protect himself from the hit from Bubba Bolden.
And Lawrence with 3 more touchdowns makes it 10 so far for the season. A flag down on the conversion. So much different start to the season for Lawrence this year. We talked about last year, pressing, had 5 picks through the first 3 games, hasn't thrown one yet.
But that's so good for him to go through that. It wasn't fun at the time, but it was, every quarterback goes through that becomes a superstar.
Foul, number 2 of the defense, the 15-yard penalty forced on the succeeding kickoff.
I think that was part of his maturation. He had such a big freshman year. Culmination, they beat Bama and they win the championship, and he goes crazy. The next year, the bar is unrealistic. He felt that. He would tell you he felt it. He pressed, tried to make plays. Then about middle of the year, after about week 7, he just said, I'm done doing that. I'm just going to settle in and let the game come to me. And I think that will help him. It's helped him this year, and it'll help him moving into the next step in the NFL. He looks very, very different this year, as good as he's been the last 2 years. I'm talking, the game is super slow, and he just is seeing it.
They talk a lot about the selection process, recruiting for the culture, but to have superstars, Sunday-ready guys like Lawrence and Etienne be so humble and so unselfish and never waver one little bit in the work ethic. They just work harder and harder as they've gotten better and better. The example of that sets, that just doesn't automatically happen, as you know, in this sport at all.
And when your superstars are humble and the hardest workers, it filtrates down to the rest of the team, because if Travis Etienne is that way, he's blue-collar guy. He's the hardest working guy on the team. He's staying after practice. Amari Rodgers, he's staying after practice. Trevor Lawrence. When those guys are doing that, and the players before them, Christian Wilkins, it's who they are. And the younger players see it, and so when they get older, that's how they act.
It was Roche in the personal foul. It was Miami's 15th penalty, by the way, for 135 yards. We'll see if the Heat fare better than the Hurricanes as they try to force a Game 7 against LeBron and the Lakers in the NBA bubble. And it's tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern time here on ABC. Well, there's a lot of things to talk about from Manny Diaz and company. A couple of targeting penalties tonight. Certainly hope that Brevin Jordan, when they make that long flight home and get to the Heck Center at 5 a.m. Certainly hope that shoulder is okay and that he's not going to miss an extended amount of time.
Along with John Campbell, the left tackle, you hope he's okay. We saw him flexing his leg, and at least he got off the field under his own power.
King is out, replaced by N'Kosi Perry, who's part-time starter, and the backup gets dropped. Clemson still fighting, and that's Bradley Jennings. Niles Pinckney.
Big Pinckney, who's played a lot of football as a senior, comes in and makes a play. And one thing
still here,
he's still here. He's still here. One thing I wanted to see is how good, the two things I wanted to see is how good was the Clemson defense with all these new faces, and how good was their offensive line. And I think they showed everybody that the rest of the ACC is taking notice, saying, well, not much of a drop-off.
Taking notice and taking stock, because as you said, and you've won now to be 25 in a row in the conference, and a lot of them have been blowouts. A lot of them have been handling the contenders in this conference. Virginia here a week ago was a rematch of the ACC championship game. It wasn't as lopsided as that game when they played this year, but this is a sobering loss for Miami. 42-17, and the game wasn't really that close. Perry surveys and takes a shot and delivers a pick. Intercepted by Kane Patterson. Why not let a third-team linebacker get in on the fun? And the frustrations continue in that sideline. It's a thrill for him. He's keeping...
That's funny. My youngest son, Chase, we live in Nashville, go to Christ Presbyterian Academy, and that's where he's from. He's a superstar in high school, and he's kind of had to work like a lot of guys up the food chain here to get an opportunity, and we can see how fired up he is to be able to make a play and be able to get his hands on the ball. He read it perfectly. Brent Venables there, the defensive coordinator, giving him some love. Good for 17.
Yeah, he backs up Skalski and Jake Venables, and you can see he read that well. So all the work that you do, the third string guys study tape too and go to the meetings, and Jason Namachan, the third-string
Offense
quarterback
number 19,
for Clemson,
5
is in
yards.
there.
Penalty, first down.
And it's Michael Dukes. They're going deep in the depth chart. Well, a soggy one tonight, but the Clemson faithful will leave feeling really good about their team and their chances vis-a-vis the rest of the Atlantic Coast Conference. It's going to take a great performance and an off night by Clemson to beat this team. Oh, the third-teamer Namachan almost had it picked off. Blades read it. Couldn't come up with a football on a wet night.
Well, he's seen that play all night. He's a starter. And Trevor Lawrence has been throwing that out there a bunch tonight. And this time he gets in front of, looks like I think it was Will Brown, 82, who was trying to block him. But Al Blades reacted so quickly, he was almost able to come up with an interception and a touchdown if he caught it.
Too much trying to think of waiters. I don't get a lot of snaps. Let's not throw a pick six here with everybody watching late in the game. They don't have the turnover chain. They have the Apple turnover chain.
Cherry there at the bottom.
And they got 3 of them. So it's a statement and it's a snack. So the turnover chain for Miami just once on the fumble by Lawrence, but the Canes couldn't cash that in, and that was very costly. Threw the interception in the end zone after that takeaway. Namachan follows a block. Bridgeport, Connecticut, where this redshirt freshman is from.
Up in your old stomping grounds up there.
Long time ago. Back
in the heyday. You say the Nutmeg State, right?
Yeah. Still is. Still there.
You held it down back there.
Will Sweeney.
Wow, didn't you?
Got all kind of coaches' sons in the game. Will Sweeney's in there now. Of course, he's the holder, but also a receiver. Delayed handoff to Dukes, and bangs forward.
About that run.
I think almost every guy who's dressed out tonight has now gotten in the game for Clemson. Inside of 2 minutes, and all those streaks we talked about at the top are going to stretch. 36 straight regular season wins. It'll be 47 in a row on Saturdays. There's a reason why Clemson has been a double-digit favorite 32 in a row. Oh, what we got in the game there in the slot right there? Is that Herb Street?
I would love this.
It's a decoy. They threw him in there so that all eyes of the defense would go towards him, and then ran the ball.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
Well, you know, the program does a great job of playing. They really do. They play guys, and Dabo's theory is if you practice, you should get a chance to play when they get the opportunities to get a lead. Keeps everybody engaged too.
Kobe Pace gets a carry, gets down to 5 in the final minute here. And they're going to use some tempo here, trying to find the end zone with the backups. He's bringing off some guys here as the clock winds down. Pace still running hard. Can they shove him across the goal line? No, they'll stop him a half a yard short.
Tell you
We'll
what,
see
man.
if that's it. We'll see if they line up and try to run play a tempo, get in the end zone here. First and goal. If they hurry,
they're going to get it off here.
Tack on a 7th touchdown tonight. Namachan with the keeper, and the Canes will rise up and stop him as the clock hits 0-0. One of the few things that didn't work for Clemson tonight. Trevor Lawrence, 29 of 41, 292, 3 touchdowns. Travis Etienne running for a couple touchdowns and $149. A strong statement tonight from Kings of the Conference.
Yeah, really was. Learned a lot about them in 2020 and what they have to offer. And De'Ara King in Miami, they found where they are. And they've got to go back to the drawing board, learn from this experience, hope that they can regroup, recalibrate, win some games, and maybe, who knows, down the road be in a different position, maybe get to the ACC championship and get another chance.
Ways to go this season, but the gap is still there, and the gap is significant between Clemson and the rest of the ACC. Game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. Head up to Gillette Stadium for Monday. We'll see in Gainesville for LSU in Florida over on ESPN. Now, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your local news on ABC. 42-17 Tigers for Kirk, Allison, and their entire crew. Chris Fowler saying good night from Soggy Death Valley.